Hello, hi, Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone. Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, maaf zahir dan batin. Okay, so welcome on board. My name is Hajar Abdullah and I will be your host for today. Okay, so before we start, hold on, I want to check first. Is it my voice loud and clear? So if yes, please give me emoticon so that I know my voice is doing good. Okay. All right, cool, amazing. Okay, let me find my hold on, yeah. Okay, so welcome on board to Deal or Grill for tonight. Basically, it's a Raya edition since we have been in Raya. So Selamat Hari Raya to everyone. So for those who are actually watching us through our live stream, is it like through YouTube, Facebook, IG, and also TikTok. Please join us through our session dekat Zoom so that if you want to ask question, you guys can ask question through the Q&A box below. Okay, all right. So for tonight, I will read around like ada tiga housekeeping rules for tonight. So the first one is there will be no recording for tonight. Okay, so for those who want to watch this session again, you guys can go to our channel YouTube later. Okay, that's number one. Number two is strictly don't put your personal information throughout the chat. And then last but not least, for those who want to ask question, you guys can put question in the Q&A box below. Okay, so for tonight, basically we have like 5 properties that we are going to discuss. So the first one is Armani Hallson KLCC, and then second Solarvest Bangsar South. Third one is Bangsar Hillpark. Third Skyline Embassy Ampang, and last but not least is also Centro JB. So with that, are you guys ready? If you guys are ready, please give me emoticon so that I boleh panggil our boss for today, Faizul Ridzuan. So Faizul, are you ready for tonight? Tada-tada. Mana bos kita?
Halo semua.
Baju raya, Sega.
Of course. So sempena raya, so kita pakailah baju raya. Jarang kan boleh pakai kan. Assalamualaikum. Good evening.
Okay.
Good afternoon semua.
Alright.
Good evening.
So the station yours.
Good evening semua. So apa tu? I hope you guys had a very good raya. And welcome to our second, I think second deal or grill this year. Ke dah third dah? More than that already. So I pun tak ingat dah. This is our how many deal or grill, Albee?
This is already our fifth one.
Fifth one already, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
damn,
Time
man.
flies.
So it's the fifth. Wow, mantap lah. So, very steady. Every time we do deal or grill, we have about more than 200 people who attend. So tonight pun macam sama juga nanti. So yeah, quite exciting. And today I think we're gonna review a bunch of properties juga macam biasa, which I think the people can learn quite a fair bit lah. I guess the most interesting thing that has happened recently is tariffs. And I think the implication towards property in Malaysia will actually be highly positive, thanks to the tariff. Tapi I don't think it's a conversation that we have to get through tonight lah. Now, without further ado, let me quickly introduce all of our good-looking hosts and panel, handsome and beautiful panelists for tonight, right? Termasuk host kita Haja, right? But unfortunately, semua everyone is taken lah. To my knowledge lah, semua orang dah ada either boyfriend, girlfriend ataupun wife. Sean confirm kan?
Yo, don't put me in this kind of situation.
Simple yes or no ni mah.
Yes.
It's simple. Yeah, of course. Of course. What you're talking about. That should be the answer, man. Then, obviously, we have Albee. We've got William and we've got Zach lah. Right. So yeah, that's our panelists for tonight lah. So very quickly, we're gonna do an introduction, right? Of the property that we're discussing tonight. If you can beam the slides, right? And I'll do the quick introduction before I hand over the slides to both Zach and Albee. So again, why are we doing this? As usual, in all, this is our fifth deal or grill. So that means we have reviewed more than 20 properties already. right? More than 20 properties. And the reason is simply put, we want to provide different independent POV for those who are looking to buy investment property. Today, I think you got forums. Then obviously you got agents and the developers saying one thing, then you got forums. Then we're hoping to streamline so that over 5 to 10 minutes, you know everything that you need to know about that particular development. Okay. So whether you buy for investment, you buy for own stay, the idea is to give you a different POV and context, right? Third is to use data, provide independent guide for anyone looking to buy. And last but not least, I think which is very important, which I also think people enjoy, is to uncover all the incorrect facts that is currently being used to go and sell that property, right? So that no one gets scammed into buying certain properties, right? So I recently learned that the project that we reviewed, right, because of what we say, the next week the developer, the agent completely changed what they say about the property. So turns out that developers are watching Deal or Grill, agents are watching Deal or Grill, and we are just happy lah, right? That the fact that people proactively taking the feedback that is given, whenever we review the property, and then they do what's right, for the consumer. Okay. So next slide, please. Right. So we've done Battle Royal, and we did our first Battle Royal this year, Cyberjaya Putrajaya. We've done about 11. So if you want to learn any of these areas, you can go on to our YouTube channel, Faizul Ridzuan YouTube channel, right? Go and watch Battle Royal. It will be quite insightful for you. It's every episode is 2 to 3 hours, similar to Joe Rogan punya show. Simply because we have to complete. You cannot dissect an area of 5 minutes, guys. There's just no way, right? So it's going to be long. If you're going to buy a 400,000, 500,000, 1 million ringgit property, please go and watch a 2-hour, 3-hour presentation about the whole area so that you know what you're buying. Okay. And normally in the Battle Royal, you'll also have insight what to buy, what to avoid. So very, very important, right? So next slide, please. Right. So these are the properties that we have basically reviewed. We have reviewed 20 properties from Tuan to Tuan Tree to Artista, Sunway Velocity 3, Radium Arena, Bamboo Hills, Jah Bukit Bintang, Nexus Taman Pertama, Kingswood Bukit Jalil, Skies Maluri, Atera Petaling Jaya, Pavilion Square Bukit Bintang, Solar Star Kuala Lumpur, Flora Hijauan Gombak, Vibe Cyberjaya, Clubhouse KLCC, Lawfield Raja Uda, Met 1 KL Metropolis, Times Square 2, Pinnacle Subang, and RNF Phase 3. That was our last Deal or Grill. So these are all properties that we have reviewed. Again, if you want to watch, if you're interested to buy any of these property, go watch the Deal or Grill, right? So based on this episode, again, Faizul Ridzuan YouTube channel. Okay, next. Okay, so these are going to be the 5 new properties we're going to review tonight, right? So in our last Deal or Grill, a lot of people asked about Armani Hallson, KLCC, right? So tonight we brought it, right? Even though APDL is not out yet. So we're going to give our best to give you the information, right? Then we've got Solarvest, Bangsar South. We've got Bangsar Hillpark, again in Bangsar. Then you've got Skyline Embassy dekat Ampang. And then one property out of JB, which is Centro, Johor Bahru. So these are 5 properties we are going to be reviewing tonight. And again, as usual, tonight's episode will be very insightful, if not better than the previous Deal or Grill episode. So I've done the introduction. Without further ado, okay, let's bring Albee, Zakri, to go and present the first property, which is Armani Hallson. I think it's Albee.
Yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. Good evening. So without further ado, let's go with Armani Hallson. I guess this is the latest that you guys got from the internet about the link bridge to KLCC. So they say this will be the first ever residential towers that's connected towards link bridge. But for information, this is under commercial title, but residential concept, okay? Even though they're advertising as a residential tower, but to make it correct, this is under commercial title, okay? So I guess you guys have seen a lot of these ads recently about this going to be the next tallest residential tower in South Asia or in Malaysia. They have premium furnishing with like rooftop onsen, like roof facilities, that have a Changi Jewel waterfall concept in their facilities. Their ROI is going to be 10 to 15 up to 80%. Okay, they are smart today. They are not longer using the GRR or even the lifetime GRR concept that we have mentioned last time. Okay, today they're just telling you, oh, my ROI looks like about 10 to 18%. Okay, and for this Armani Hallsons, they also advertising under Marriott. So this is going to be an Airbnb game as well, because this is going to be managed by 5 senses. Okay, so their comparison is just simple. They take W Hotel because W Hotel is currently under Marriott. So the rental Airbnb rates per night being introduced was saying about 1,000 around the corner. We have 4 Seasons and also W Hotel. So for this Armani Hallsons, they are looking quite good. They can do well with this, about 400 rate per night. So it's similar being presented from the clubhouse last time. They're also going to use a similar about 400 rate per night. The peak of 80% of occupancy for this Airbnb game in this whole KLCC. But to my question is, currently there's so many projects being introduced in this KLCC part of land. Everyone is advertising walking distance to KLCC, the Petronas, the Surah area, you know, with the view of it. Will it be a sustainable game for everyone or for every investors who are rushing in to buy at this price point? And for your information, the price point of Armani Hallson is very interesting. So is it high or at a acceptable price point? Or let's review it later on. Okay. So on agent marketing point of view that you guys can see over here. So that's about Armani Hallson. So on our side, what I think is the real USP, I guess, yes, KLCC, when we do study comparing to KL TRX or over even Bukit Bintang, their Airbnb in terms of rates per night and also occupancy is actually the best out of the 2 area in this triangle hotspot. The other part of this Armani Hallson, yes, it's a premium furnishing and great facilities as the advertising probably maybe soon will be the one of the hottest Instagrammable kind of concept for this Armani Hallson. But the only downside is the high density. So why is it high density? So let's view for the next slide. So you guys can see this is the details of this project. You guys can screen it. So number of units of this Armani Hallson is about 2,215 units, meaning you guys are going to compete together with each other for this. So for this Armani Hallsons, instead of whatever being advertised last time in Floor Hill about the GRR of 10 to 15% of the lifetime. But today, Armani Hallsons, they are using the same concept, which is the MPA model. So for if you are a local Malaysian, your MPA, meaning you're going to get a guarantee return, even your unit is not returned, so it's going to be a pool money. So for foreigners, you only get 4%. For locals, you get 5%. So I'm not sure why there will be differences between locals, Malaysian, and also foreigners. Even though they pay the similar price point for investing in this property. And also the price point that it was introduced actually is at a, I would say, slightly high in the market as per today, which most of the time, most of the buyer of this Armani Hallson would slightly looks towards the foreigners, but you are offering a lower MPA returns for the foreigners. So this one is a freehold. For the layout wise, everyone is introduced a small layout. Okay, the smaller is a Soho unit, so it's about 538 to 558 square feet. So the other one is Sovo type, so small office, versatile office. So it's a similar concept, but it's under commercial title. The smaller is a studio one. The biggest they have dual key is either 776 or up to 1,180 square feet for the dual key bedroom. So completion is about 229. Net per square feet, okay, so it's about 1,008 to around 2,700 per square feet. So it's actually at a very high price point. I guess you guys see some agents advertising that you can buy Armani Hallson, probably your monthly mortgage is about 3,500. So that's the lowest unit. The lowest unit SPA start for 1.1 million actually. So price point is really quite interesting, but whether it's a really a good price point to enter. If you know about this Armani Hallson location, let me let you know what is the exact location. This is actually beside Maya Hotel or opposite to Belita KLCC. So it's actually near to the graveyard, which is close to a summer suites area. So I did actually question about the price point with the location, even though they have advertised with the link bridge towards KLCC, but the only concern is at this price point, with the location, whether it's worth it or not. So this is probably going to be the most expensive property next to the graveyard. Even though we know graveyard won't really affect the property prices, but at which price point, is it at the right price point for this to enter or not? Is a question mark for investor to find out. So facilities is going to be superb. They have their Sky Lounge, Sky Gym, Sky Pool. Okay, so this is not the tallest Sky Pool because the tallest Sky Pool is going to fall on Sofitel. Sofitel Sky Pool is at level 77. So this is 36. So just one floor different, okay, compared to Sofitel. So that's about Armani Hallson details. So let's look into own say verdict. So accessibility, this is actually at a prime location of the KLCC, which is at the more commercial vibrance area, which is at the first part of KLCC. So accessibility, you can access through all the highways, amenities around. If you're talking about international school, there are 2, university, there's 1, healthcare is 2, shopping mall, there's plenty in this area, there's 8. We have a central recreational park. Public transport access, the closest will be the monorail Bukit Nana stations. The other one will be the KLCC. Long-term liberty, I would just say this is great connectivity and accessibility, because I don't think so with such a big supply within this development, and also the small size, and everyone is advertising for Airbnb, this will be a good choice for own stay. So mortgage-wise, let's take normal financing at 90% at 4% rate. So if you go for the smallest bedroom at a medium floor, okay, just for you guys information, we pick the medium floor, so it will look a bit fair. It's not the lowest floor you can get, right? So for medium floor, for smallest bedroom today, if you wanted to enter, it's close to about 5,000. So you go for a dual key, it's about 8,300. So I'm not sure with this price point, will you guys make a break even or positive cash flow, even an ROI of 10 to even 15%. Because looking at today's markets, you guys can see our KLCC, if you look at those quite premium ones, if you're looking for, probably it's 4 seasons, but other than that, there's actually not much property that's being transacted more than 2,000 and above. Because if you are looking for the similar spec, which is considered not branded, because 4 Seasons is considered branded, Tropicana or even W Hotel is considered branded. So if you are considered slightly below, probably you're looking for star residence that was transacted about close to 1,008 per square feet. So other than that, all property in KLCC as per today is close to 1,001 per square foot today. So Armani Hallsons, in terms of the price being introduced, actually I would say slightly above or much above the median, depending on the flooring and also the unit that you're choosing. Okay, so tiering is tier 1, but supply is very interesting. So we have gathered all the supplies in our KLCC that has been launched as per today. So as talking about KLCC itself, a number of units is close to about 6,100 if you're considering until TRX and Bukit Intang area. So it's close to about 10,000 units, not considering those with dual key supplies in the town. So HSR would be one of the boosters we are considering. Maturity point, KLCC is actually quite matured as per today. MRO, I think it's Airbnb. Whole unit, actually I did ask this question, is this going to be own stay suitable as well? The agents tell me, oh, I think still able to own stay, many foreigners going to buy this for own stay. Then I was like, okay, I doubt it, because this is, actually for me, it's very high density. I don't see the purpose of, staying with so many people, 2,000 plus unit. But I just put it a whole unit since they say that it's suitable for own stay because people like the facility. So okay, because they also tell me the rental demand in this area is actually doing very good. But for me, Armani Hallson is not really a branded, so probably you have to take a less premium for rental that you have to consider. You can't really compare to 4 Seasons, Tropicana, W Hotel, or Sofitel that's upcoming. They are really considered branded unit, right? So probably the one that you can compare is probably your Sky Suites, your Scarlets, or even your Star Residence that because Star doesn't have two blocks which is not under the escort. So the other two blocks is the normal residence tower. So probably you can refer it. So if let's say you take the referral of these two, of the one bedroom is about 3,800 to 4,500. So this is not going to make you break even. Okay, it's going to make you bleed if you go for whole unit. This is why it's heavily depending on an Airbnb game for this Armani Hallson. So if you look for the 2 bedroom, it's about 4,500 to 5,500. 3 bedroom is close to 9,500 to 14,000. That's for escort. Okay, so for this Armani Hallson, the biggest would be the dual key 2 bedroom. So which I guess is slightly quite expensive. So that's all for the details of investment of Armani Hallson. So without further ado, let's me bring out the panelists up to the stage to discuss deal or grill first before we reveal the verdict by us. Okay, so what do you guys think? Another product from Armani Group about this Armani Hallsons, where today they're no longer using GR, lifetime or whatever. They're going to give you MP of at least 4%. At this price point, Link Bridge, next tallest residential tower in Malaysia or even Southeast Asia. What do you guys think? Good price, good to go. So much of supply, but facilities looks like wow. They say this is going to be the next hottest Airbnb in the town with the facilities being provided. Do you guys think that it makes sense or not?
I first I have to comment on the developer lah. The last time we made a comment about Loft Hill, right? About the GRR, whereby it sounds very weird. They don't have to go and do it. Within a week, I guess, they basically changed completely their sales pitch and whatnot. So very clear that I think the developer wants to do what's right. I think the agent that is misrepresenting has been properly reprimanded, which for me, these are all one of the main reasons why we do deal or grill, guys. Right? So it's not bantai the developer, it's not bantai the agent. We don't want to see anything unscrupulous, basically. Anything, which is not right because it's gonna affect everyone, right? So when people feel scammed, people feel cheated into buying certain things because the agent misrepresent either by design or accidentally, you want to call it, right? So I think, like I said, I really want to give credit to our money group. Like I said, I know these guys, we bought from them before, pretty good guys. And the fact that the moment we meet the comment within a week, every single thing that, they're talking about the GR is all been removed, Albee. So which to me, remarkable, well done, right? So these are reasons why we do deal agree, right? And I, when people do something right, we praise. When people do something wrong, we highlight, right? So yeah. Nonetheless, we have a job to do for tonight, right? So this is, as of today, officially, even though price point hasn't been fully decided because PDL tak keluar lagi kan, right? But from a product point of view, probably going to be one of the nicest full facility product and one of the best location if you take away the graveyard behind, right? It's one of the best location you can buy nearby KLCC, right? But this is officially today, right? The most expensive property next to a graveyard in the country lah. Right? I cannot think of anything selling above 2,000 per square foot, right? But it is KLCC, unfortunately, right? So it is KLCC, and this doesn't affect only this product. I think Dawn pun sama kan?
Yeah.
Right? Dawn, right? All the way to Armani Residences Raja Uda, right? Loft Hill pun sama juga, can see graveyard, even though not next to it lah, right? And we have always highlighted that buying nearby graveyard is not a problem if you enter at the right price point, right? So, but typically when you buy nearby graveyard, you buy the cheapest. So normally that's what happened. So, Zakri, deal or grill?
No for on stay. Obviously high density, price wise and livability macam tak sangat. So I think no for on stay lah. Price is the main one. For investment, no juga. If more than 2,000 PSF, think memang memang no lah. Again, this density concern, high density punya concern and concern on the cash flow pun ada juga, where potentially affected by the high supply of the small sizes in KLCC or even on the development itself, right? And boleh ke nak catch the KLCC rental? So that's one of the concern, right? Because we also can see beberapa KLCC property not doing as great, even they have very good facilities, rooftop pun apa semua, but not doing as great in terms of rental and also the price punya performance lah, price growth. So no lah, pricing not okay. Think kalau less than 1,007 ke macam okay lah. Yeah.
For the number of units and like 2K plus units and
2K plus lah.
yeah,
I
2K
think
plus units at this price point.
yeah, on top of a very small plot of land.
About 2.6 acres.
Yeah, 2.6 acres. That's
The
concern lah.
building so tall, I think that 78, 77 floors, the Soho block.
Hey,
So,
Albee, what's the maintenance fee like? Proposed?
I think it's about 0.96 cents. Close to 1 ringgit.
Whoa.
Close to 1 ringgit. Yeah.
What?
2,000 units.
I thought I want to say because high density, then maintenance fee might be below 50 cents per square foot. So it's cheap.
Yeah.
KLCC area. Nah, I can never say that anymore.
Yeah, close to 1 ringgit.
And when MC is established, 1 ringgit already.
There's so many things to maintain actually. You know,
1
for
ringgit
that facility.
maintenance.
RM1.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
I think I go
William?
next. Yeah. So I think the only party or the only two parties that can deal with this property would be the tenants, right? Of course, a nice view and language, and also probably the agents. I heard there's so many agencies and the agents are having a huge commission also. Like this property gives way above average kind of commission. So yeah. So if you buy at net agent com, I think, can go less than 2K per square feet, close to what Zakri want. Yeah. So other than that, I think as an owner, I don't know what's your goal lah, like what Zakri said, right? Cash flow wise, exit plan wise, right? It's pretty tough lah, basically, at this price point. So other than being tenant or the agent, yeah, I don't see you winning lah as an owner. Own state own investment. So grill for both. Straightforward for me lah, unfortunately, at this price point.
Wow. So you're saying that the I guess is a alleged commission lah, because not confirmed yet, right? So it's
Yeah.
the post commission is above average lah. That's what you're saying, right? And for those who don't know, William's background was actually coming from the agency business, whereby he sells primary market, and today he's got a lot of friends running multiple agencies lah, right? So that's William's background, right? So okay, interesting. That's one more point, right? Albee, yourself?
Feel for both. Because of density pricing is an issue. I saw very interesting at the chat. Now the clubhouse seems better. Yeah, because clubhouse price is almost similar. It's about 2000 to 2004 because clubhouse already, I think, gotten like APDL, so it's going to be a fixed price. The only thing is they're actually quite similar. Cloud is just next street. Okay, it's 150 meter. This is 300 meter with the Skyline bridge. So you have to pass through the W Hotel. They sent me the link bridge, proposed link bridge lah. So I saw a comment also, how this link bridge going to be visible or doable, right? We just actually having a tour yesterday in the KLCC area. So yeah, I actually before this I also passed by to go a site visit, right? On this route. I actually also quite concerning how the bridge going to be actually going to pass through the road, go through W and also reach KLCC lah. So this is also one of the concern. But with this price point, this density, this location, I think it's really a grill because of you hardly would actually achieve much better, because yes, the facility you have a lot, but maintenance wise is also important. When people are not getting, then how it's going to be. And also the MPA is just minimum of 5%. So let's take it at a 5% view only. So with 5%,
Albee, what is MPA?
so MPA for easier term for you guys to understand, right? So last time JR is like you pay in your loan, you get back, like the developer will just bank in monthly back to you as a rental back to you. So MPA is going to be a similar concept, but a different term because they're going to put into a pool money. So regardless of, because Airbnb, everyone have this concern, right? Hey, my unit is not rented. Hey, you put why this unit is always occupied? And why my unit is not rented? So it's going to be, have this kind of issue when your operators manage a lot of unit, right? So to, everyone don't fight together. So we put into a pool money, whether your money is rented or not rented. So it's going to pool money. So at the end of the day, we're going to divide lah. So that's the MPA return of at least of 4% to 5%, depending on if you're foreigners, you get 4%. If you are locals, you get 5%. That's a minimum guaranteed lah. So if you're going to manage on your own, so unfortunately you are not entitled for this MPA lah. So this MPA is only for those who are going to being parked under it. So it's so tied up with you, if you wanted to compete with the markets, whether you want to take the risk to compete with the minimum MPA, or you want to manage on your own, put up your own furnishing, or not furnishing, it's just more decoration, because this is going to be a fully furnished package selling to everyone. So that's the concept lah. So at least 4 to 5% you're going to get a return lah. So I think it's a bit concerning when the price point is slightly higher. Yeah, it's actually quite pricey for this price point. And then now Clubhouse looks better with the price point that we introduced in terms of densities. I think Clubhouse, even with the hotel paradox, everything is about 600 plus each unit only. So it's less than a half of this Armani Hallson. So
And no graveyard lah.
no graveyard lah. The funny thing is, the agent tell me, this is located next to the graveyard, but they're going to design it so that you don't have the graveyard view. So the view is going to be only KLCC and also the garden view. Then I just want to let you guys know, KLCC view, however, is going to be blocked by your W Hotel lah. So it's a half block view. It's not a fully KLCC unblocked view. So if you want to really unblock, so you have to go to a super high floor, and your SPA also climb very high.
So it's now priced at some of the units priced at about 2,005 per square foot, right? So I think the price range for this is between 1,007, which is the lowest, right, Albee?
Yes, the lowest is 1,007. At SPA is about 1.1. So I get the net, the one is about 990K. So mortgage is about 4,100 per month at normal financing. So if you step up, probably is about 3,500, 3,600. Yeah, before you go back to the normal financing. Just for you guys to know. Yeah.
So lowest price point for this development is 1,007. And the highest is about 2,005, all the way to even above 2,005. So what you are saying here is that units are all coming fully furnished.
Yes, the current package is fully finished.
All fully finished, which probably, if they're gonna do a nice 5-star equivalent of a hotel, they're not okay, like it justify paying a little bit more, because most of the other competing product, I think, like for example, like Chinese Dawn, these are all bare unit, yeah, betul tak? Right? Many of it is bare unit or partly furnished. Right?
But
so
the reason is, with fully furnished, you're paying premium of more than like 300 to 400 more per square feet.
Yeah.
How
So
much your furnishing is going to cost? Like,
yeah, there are a couple of things which is driving the price point to be higher, right? One is the facilities, one is the fact that it's fully finished, and allegedly above average commission to the agent. So all of that priced in, right? Which makes it, like I said, where I don't understand is that why is such a big disparity. Lowest 1,007, highest is close to about 1,000 ringgit per square foot more when it comes to premium, which I suspect some of the units, high floor, unblocked KLCC view, most likely is going to be priced closer to about 2,007. None of this is confirmed, by the way, guys, but these are all the information that we've gathered after speaking to the agent. The final product, final price point could be very different, right? But let's see, right? And then one alarming thing here that you are saying, okay, so then there's this MPA, right? So MPA simply means is that you go to a pool. So whether your property got tenant, no tenant, you still get 4%. Right? Right? So in a way, it's great, right? When if it's sustainable, it's great. If it's not sustainable, it still goes back to same thing lah, right? Still goes back to the same thing, right? That also potentially why is price higher, to price in the fact that they can afford to give a 4 to 5% GRR in a way lah, if you think about it, right? So if I take the money up front, I've got more money to go and disburse from a rental return POV, because the first 1 to 2 years is normally going to be quite a fair bit of a challenge lah, right? And but I don't understand, why would a foreigner get less compared to a local? So you're saying local get 5%, right?
Yeah,
Again, these are all what the agent is saying, I guess, right? So agent is saying local will get 5% minimum, foreigner will get 4%. Is that correct, Albee?
Yeah, I get this reference. So I was like, oh, he asked me whether I'm a Malaysian or Singaporean.
Probably they see
So
Albee is a local lah. So they say this
Ah.
lah. If you are foreigner, they say they'll terbalik lah. I'm just saying, I don't know.
or maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
So I find it to be quite strange lah, because your return, I mean, your return, if you are buying a unit, should be the same, whether you're foreigner or local, unless you buy the completely different price point. Right? So I find it to be very, 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 this is very strange for me. The MPA, okay lah, I understood the concept, right? Provided, again, it's sustainable, right? So and they are using what? Four Seasons and W Hotel as comparison to justify rental, yeah, Albee?
Yeah. I guess
Right?
you guys can see from the ads. You guys was saying about the W Hotel, 1,000 per night.
So the caution here is that, and this again, right? So we will call out agents. They basically does that, right? W Hotel is a branded residence. W Residence is a branded residence, right? Because you got a nice 5-star thing called W Hotel. Four Seasons is also a branded residence. Sofitel is a branded residence. Ritz-Carlton is a branded residence. St. Regis is a branded residence. This isn't a branded residence, right? And if anything, Star Residence that has got escort is also can be considered as a branded service apartment residence, even though it's not a hotel, right? So the caution that I would say to agents marketing this project, number one, please don't mislead the public lah, by saying this should be comparable to Four Seasons, right? Or W Hotel, because it isn't, right? It's not even comparable to escort, Star Residence. It should be below that, right? So unless, for example, they bring in a brand like Marriott, then you could argue that this becomes a branded residence, right? Which I suspect lah, if they are, for Lawfield, they're doing something similar, right? Under Marriott. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a partnership
Yeah.
it's managed by 5 Senses. So it's a partnership with Marriott.
Yeah, so again, is it 5 Senses or is it Marriott? Because those two are completely different animal lah, right? So I suspect they might be bringing in a branded name, because if I were the developer, that's the only hope I have as of today, to bring a branded operator like Marriott to justify a 2,000 ringgit, 2,500 ringgit per square foot. Co-location wise, stone throw away to KLCC, I have no idea the link bridge is going to happen or not. I find the idea to be quite weird, because Four Seasons don't have link bridge, right? Sofitel nearby also don't have link bridge, right? So again, I find it to be quite weird lah, whether the link bridge is happening or not. To me, it's not a problem. It's not a deal breaker. Link bridge or no link bridge doesn't justify anything in my personal point of view lah. But I think the most important thing developer can do today is to bring a proper branded hotel to be part of this, right? Otherwise, I think it's going to be a challenge to justify at this price point now. I mean, facility-wise is great. The way the maintenance fee is being proposed, which is above 90 cents, means this is already entering a branded residence minimum or branded hotel management fee territory already. Right? So yeah. Very weird.
If
Right.
I am the developer, I will will tier it first. So the bottom one, I will go for the lowest 1,007 just to get attention from people. Oh, I got hope to own KLCC one.
Yeah.
Then
And it's the
the
cheapest.
yeah. Then the shared pool one, I think they will lock like maybe 10, 20 floors. So for those who wants to be controlled by this operator, you buy within these floors. Anything else you want to do yourself, you will just segregate upwards. So then they can somewhat logistically manage. I think that's the strategy. Then the highest one, which is the one with guaranteed view, full view, then you get all the premium. So that would be the tiering logic. Just that until no matter how I think about it, right? Why would anybody buy? At this rate, right? Not only Clubhouse, I think Kempinski is a steal.
Sell to foreigners, lor.
Right? Like I would rather go for Kempinski.
Kempinski abandoned, bro. That's
Yeah,
why
lah, no. But if you think about it, like Kempinski, I think it's
you're
still
right.
Yeah,
At,
it's still
at,
quite.
at, at the same price point, honestly, lah, from a facility point of view, and I've seen Kempinski, been to Kempinski, is a no contest.
right.
Mm.
So, but okay lah. So Kempinski, you see when they launch Kempinski, like if you want to go atas, I just don't understand why now luxury comes with Airbnb. It's a very contradicting statement altogether. Then you come up with all the pool money thing. It's just telling it's between like lamb and mutton. Like I don't know what's the difference, seriously. So I no matter how, like who am I going to sell? Waterfish only maybe lah. Then like who else is going to buy this? Airbnb like 4% for what? Waste time only mah. Right, 4% is 4% is a waste of time, really waste of time.
I mean, they say it's a guaranteed lowest lah. Like, guaranteed
you
lowest
have
for you is
to-
4%. Best case is 10-ish. Yeah.
That's
For,
that's why you have to see it. At least minimum you can get at 4%. But
but with so much risk,
Yeah.
Then just now when you put out, right, I think the best part about the slide is the upcoming 8 to 10,000 units.
yeah, a lot of supplies in the
And
area.
then suddenly I just imagine all the previous owners who bought all the previous project, right, all now stabbing themselves really. Everybody keeps saying, oh, my one will be 400 per night, this one will be 500 per night, it will be 600 per night. When all come out, right, 200 people also, back, please lah, come stay here, please. I don't know lah. So, the link bridge, I don't think it's possible because like just now Faizul said, so many projects already, right? No one done it. Maybe that's the reason why the price so high, I don't know. But will the link bridge really increase the value of the property? I don't think so. So I like on the previous episode, I think we kind of discussed like, is this the way forward for all lands left in KLCC? Since there's this hype of Airbnb and everybody wants to have their operation, right? Is this golden opportunity to exit all the piece of land there? If not, no other way already. So back to the Clubhouse episode also, like why don't they just make it into a branded living, not Airbnb focus? So whether it turn Airbnb or not, don't need to be so obvious. So the escort star residence approach would be so much better. Meaning this is meant for rich people. Later you buy it, you want to turn into something else, I don't care, right? We will talk about it later. But now you should always brand it as Airbnb. People who wants 10 to 12% return will buy this kind of project. Suddenly, as a person who really wants to stay myself, would I want such a product? Right? Then the you look into the layout, right? It's worse than the hostel. The density is worse than a low-cost flat. I don't know. I seriously don't know. Like, is there going to be any more KLCC launches? I think they will lah, because now the hype is everybody wants to buy this right? Oh, that's one thing that I don't understand now lah. That's one thing. Like we have a lot of towers in KLCC, but none of them make money.
After Sean said luxury and Airbnb, why they do, right? This actually happened in Jakarta when we were there. one of the proven case study, one luxury residence is a branded residence to the Orient Jakarta, right? Pricing roughly about 2 mil, 2.5 mil for the small unit last time, right? Now pricing 40% lower after 10 years, right? And it's a Airbnb property. It's a solely Airbnb property. You guys can Google Sudirman Suites. It's an Airbnb property. It's a luxury. At the same time, integrated with the Orient Jakarta, one of the 5-star hotel in Jakarta, right? But at the first place, it should be a proper luxury residence, lah, I would say, right? So now a lot of desperate owners sell as low as 40%. So this Airbnb game might as well become flop one day, right? So it might affect negatively to the market lah. I mean the pricing and apa semua. Right now we can see a lot of small studios in KLCC, like a lot, super a lot. 2 key saja banyak gila, and even the studio and 2 key a lot, like a lot. This small studio Airbnb thingy. So yeah,
Kan? So
Jakarta
like maybe,
happen
right?
might
Like
yeah.
let's think about 8 years later, maybe it's cheaper to rent a unit in KLCC than Maluri.
Mm.
Think about it, like
Because of
8,000
supply.
square feet.
And it's all small unit.
Oh, and all small unit.
All small unit. Everyone is introduced small unit. Sky, don't worry, everyone will have the sky view of KLCC. Everyone have the view, same view. Don't worry. Walking distance. You see all the being introduced. Cloud House, Dawn,
And
Armani.
yeah.
All this is all walking distance.
So my point of view is this lah. So if you're running a hotel, density per floor is fine, or you don't really care. But when it's all now residents, then don't know who stay where, like how many units per floor. Like you just imagine 2,000 units, right? Like seriously, my dorm also not so many rooms, one.
Mm.
So you have a super high luxury. Like how luxury more can you go? Gold plated, I'm just
And then
saying, right?
introduce rooftop onsen. So they say everyone have the rooftop pool, right? It's okay, I have rooftop onsen.
Then you take number via app just to use it, because 2,000 times 2 per room, right? Like 4,000 people waiting to use. This sounds like me burning the developer, but actually it's not. I'm just trying to challenge that idea, right? Can it be like half the density, twice the size, and I sell it as a high-end product? Will it be will it like instead of me I sell one unit 2 million for a person who's buying 1.6 and 2.2 million, it's not going to be a lot of difference, I think lah. Then maybe if they want to convert it later, let them do. But at least I clear my stocks, But now I need to deal. I need to persuade 2,000 people, Okay lah. So last time we say we laugh at the GRR, right? Maybe GRR a lot of people still don't know, right? At least they kena psycho, go and buy, right? Then maybe got chance, and now lagi no chance for anybody to buy. Who will buy? Actually, who will buy?
I think targeting those working Singapore also good. Like I don't
People
know
don't
lah.
know one, or got money just want to spend one.
Yeah. Probably yeah lah. Because still cheap They buy by 3.3.
So the
And
only chance
luxury
is
wise
water
still
fish,
cheap.
Want something in KLCC.
But then why you give the foreigners 4% only?
Now because you're Malaysian.
Oh man.
Just kidding, I don't know.
So why would I just don't get it, like why? Okay, so if you just think, if I'm a developer, what would I do? Actually, also game over. Don't know what to do with it, right, at this price point.
Well, I
Tough,
think my point branded lah.
Yeah, the only way is to like make it like. So I think Star Residence is a very awesome study. It's really like for the sizes that time when they were launching also small, really like 680, 700 per square feet, 700 square feet kind of units. But it was meant for people to stay and live. Suddenly the Airbnb game took over, then Escort still got chance. But straight away upfront, okay, we do Airbnb. Oh shit. Lagi like, anyone who can buy a 2 million residence, right? Who wants to play the Airbnb game? For Airbnb? 2 million? Whoa.
Give for the return of 5%.
Oh, someone with 5% and their FD also 5% already. Leh.
Yeah. You're taking a risk. Such
That's
a
my
risk.
thing. Also, answer is definitely grill. I find no reasons to buy. I really find no reason.
I think because we are used to buying property that makes money, so we charge people who are getting 4%. You guys are all assholes, basically. Because you're not used to 4%, you're used to 6, 7, 10%. So arrogant people are you all.
No. Aiyo.
Let's put back to context, guys. For KLCC, 4% is okay. It's the worst performing property market in the country in the last 15 years. And the reality is that almost everyone in KLCC lost money. So in the light of everyone getting 2 to 3%, 4% sounds good.
Oh, and guaranteed some more lah.
And guaranteed some more lah. So I think I think right that is a thought process because they look at the yield in KLCC can never make it.
Oh,
Does that
maybe
make
that
sense?
should be the marketing campaign really.
Yeah.
Grow
So
the big units, right? Or this instead of comparing to the top of the Four Seasons and all. Oh, this project X 2%, project Y 3%. We guarantee 4%.
yeah. So normally, if you go for a super branded developer, right? Like these guys, the moment you hear that developer confirm 20-30% premium for sure. Let's say, for example, like Pavilion, right? So Pavilion normally do that, right? They go Bukit Jalil, they do same Ampang, Bukit Bintang, Damansara Heights, right? Purposely price things at 30-40% under the Pavilion brand, right? And they go Mount Kiara, do the same shit and fully sold. Right, so and not typically these are your I would say the Kepala Naga, right, the dragon head, right? So these guys are dragon head. They say pricing, Sunways, the Sunrise, the of the world, Eco World, for example. Yeah, but this project appears to be like it's making all the other project looks cheap lah. So which yeah, it's basically helping other project. I think people who bought Dawn are relatively going to be like, oh, I'm a
Yeah.
right? Right? Like literal, nearby location, right? But well, it is what it is. I think for KLCC, 4% is okay. 5% is pretty decent if it's guaranteed. In all honesty, I don't know whether it's gonna be sustainable or not. But at least location-wise is
No, location solid lah.
location is good, facility is good. In my personal opinion, if they can bring a branded name to co-brand together with the building, the 4 to 5% can be delivered. Right? So it's gonna be the only second successful GRR per se, right? In the Bukit Bintang KLCC vicinity after Swiss Garden Residence, which is almost 20 years ago. Right? And the reason why Swiss Garden can make it, despite pricing at 30-40% higher, because it's just nearby Bukit Bintang. Location-wise can make it. Swiss Garden isn't a bad brand. Right? So location-wise, okay, you tie yourself, right, to a pretty good brand, right? But it has to be better than Ascot, right? It has to be something comparable to your Four Seasons. Even slightly lower pun tak apa. At least Sofitel equivalent. That's the only way I think this whole thing can make it. Now, coming back to this whole pool tenancy, so far, I've not seen a successful case study. The closest one there is, forgot the project name but it's the one in Pudu by Gamuda. And it wasn't done by the developer the pool. It wasn't guaranteed by the developer. It was
Robertson?
Huh?
Robertson,
correct. So it was selling for 1,200, 1,400 per square foot. And a lot of people got burn over there, right? Because I think mortgage 4,000, they get like 600 or 700 ringgit. Right? And that's during COVID. Then even before that, it was like 1,000 plus 2,000. COVID happened, then you got like 300 ringgit, 400 ringgit per month. In this particular case, cannot even cover maintenance fee. Right? So I'm not saying this is gonna fail, but from a president's point of view, Robertson. Granted, it's not going to be it's not the better location compared to this, right? But I have not seen anything similar which is successful, right? So I guess from a panelist point of view, everyone has basically say grill for this project. So I'm going to do the summary, right, before we move on to the next one, right? For me, grill, for multiple reasons. Number one, I don't like the idea of paying very high premium next to a graveyard. So typically, I like to buy nearby graveyard if you're buying at the cheapest in the area, right? So for example, in the Dutama side, right? We like property nearby graveyard because buy at 30-40% cheaper, right? Not 20 to 30% more premium. So that's point number one, right? Point number two, from a density point of view, it's quite high density, right? For the price per square foot, right? Number three, if you are talking about KLCC, the current supply in KLCC alone is already 6,000 plus, right? And that is just number of units, not inclusive of the unit which is calculated as dual key. So out of 6,000, many of those units are also dual key unit. So actual number of supply in KLCC alone is already close to 9,000, right? If you include Bukit Bintang side, then that number will breach about 12,000. So long story short, guys, summary here from a supply point of view, which makes me very uncomfortable with the KLCC areas of today for small units, okay, is that the supply of small units in KLCC area will balloon by at least 250% in the next 5 years, right? So part of 7 criteria is supply, right? Now, is this a statement to say confirm there's oversupply in KLCC? Answer is that we don't know for sure. I said oversupply in Bukit Jalil. That was certain, right? 9,000 units. KLCC will very much depend on our economy for the next 3 to 5 years, right? And the key infrastructure that will determine whether KLCC goes into oversupply or not, if you were to ask me, is high-speed rail, right? Got high-speed rail, there's a possibility that this project might not be oversupplied. The whole KLCC Bukit Bintang area, right? If no high-speed rail, 95% possibility of this area becomes oversupplied, right? That's my verdict lah. Facility side, I think is one of the nicest in the whole of KLCC area, right? Probably the best, one of the best facilities. We could change our verdict if, for example, if they bring in a really strong branded premium residence to tie up, taking up like the top 10 to 20 floors, as what Sean has said, right? So similar to PNB 118, right? Which they got hired, Park Hyatt, right? Which is supposed to be a 6-star residence, you know, taking, you know, a few top floors at PNB 118. So you know they're gonna charge 1,500, 2,000 ringgit per night dekat Park Hyatt. And they can do it because, well, it's Park Hyatt, right? So as of today, we are giving an unstable verdict of 2-star, investment 2-star, because negative cash flow, density wise, and the fact that it's being marketed completely as Airbnb with very weird returns, because you got a separate return for local, you got separate return for foreigner, which again I also completely, this is baffling lah for me lah, right? This is baffling for me, it's just weird lah. So I hope, for example, if the developer is watching, you guys clear all this misconception with the agents marketing this project, so that you guys have got a better opportunity lah, right? Moving the inventory, right? Sorry guys, we take a little bit of time to discuss this because there's a lot of new things coming out from this project, right? So which I thought would be quite beneficial for us to go and learn, right, from this case study lah, right? So let's move on to the second property.
Okay, so the second one we have is Solarvest Bangsar. So a bit of context of Bangsar. I'm not sure whether you guys know about this area. So this is I would say current Silicon Valley lah. So it's It's a bit of history of Bangsar South. Last time it was uh, a bit not to say not good, it's just a bit down area. It was from Kerinci initially, then it renamed, rebranded because of the corporate hub. Today it's called Bangsar South. So it's situated close to RT University. So because of the supplies, all the students from UM as well. This Bangsar South, other than corporates, employees who are staying around, there's a lot of international students who stay around this area. So for this Solarvest Bangsar South, as per today, agent is marketing it as a seamless connectivity to mall and LRT. So for information, this Solarvest is located next to or connected to KL Gateway Mall, which will bring you to RT University. So Bangsar South is actually special because other than RT University, they actually have another link which will bring you to Kerinci RT station, which is from UA Corporate Towers area. So this is a great locations surrounded by corporate hubs. So prime location with good rental demands. I guess everyone have known Bangsar South, but your mortgage is 1,008, your rental is 2,005. You definitely make positive cash flow. Not even a break even kind of game. This is a positive cash flow area. So what is being advertised strongly about this, and also this is 0%, 30%, sorry. Zero down for a third property investor. So on our point of view, I guess this is really strategic located because of the connectivity to the mall, to the corporate offices, and also to the RT station. So it has what you wanted to go to work or connectivity. And probably the only downside for this is Solarvest Bangsar South is actually an office suites layout. So comparing to the other that brought by UA product is mostly a residential tower. So Solarvest is an office suites layout. So for information, last time for the package for Solarvest, last time for the first few batches, I was marketed about 20%. So today is about 30% more rebates. So it's easier for those investors who wanted to enter at zero down market. So number of unit is considered low, then it's about close to 345 units for the office suites. But just for information, part of it is going to be HQ by Solarvest. So only the lower units are going to be rented out or being sold by everyone. So this is leasehold. Layout wise, actually there are only one layout, which is office suite. It's just different sizes. So they have labeled type A, B, C. So the bigger sizes are more comparable one is the 477, close to 550 square feet, which is going to be similar size for those smallest units in Bangsar South, because smallest unit in Bangsar South is about 495 square feet. It's a 1+1 or studio units, which is provided by Soutlink or even the newly repeat Laura residents. So completion wise, about 2028, number of stories, 34 stories. Net per square feet is about, average today is about 900 per square feet. Facilities why they have Skyline Lounge, Sky Gym, and so co-working space. There's no pool in this Solarvest. So in terms of own stay, accessibility is connected to Federal Spring, which can go to Mont Kiara, MP, go to Puchong or Samui area, Jalan Klang Lama, you go to Old Klang Road. So it's actually quite connected lah. Amenities wise, they have a school, secondary school, university, healthcare, and also shopping malls. This is even connected directly. Public transport is the link bridge to LRT University, which is the nearest. The other one is at the corporate park of the LRT Kerinci. Long-term livability, I guess, is a great accessibility because for me, the size-wise is not suitable for long-term staying, but it's quite popular for rental. So if you're looking at mortgage, looking at smaller size, 353 is the 1,007. The bigger size, close to 500 square feet, is close to 2,003, which is at today market rental, I guess, is able to break even where everyone say in Bangsar South is average smaller size about 2,005 square per month. So which you can look at today markets. Currently, Bangsar South average median is about close to 910 per square feet for all those new property and old property. The new one is transacted close to 940. Asking wise, no doubt is 1,000 and above as per today market. If you can negotiate about 980, 950, I tried last time. I wanted to buy one of the unit in Bangsar also. So negotiation, that's the price that I get. But asking why is all 1,000 and above lah. Okay, even today you wanted to buy in Bangsar South or PSP Pantai Central Park, which is slightly behind a bit, still a new upcoming development by IJM. So they are also asking to sell about close to 1,000 per square foot. So this is the price for the whole Bangsar South. So for this Solarvest introduced with the current rebates, about 900 per square feet seems to be okay, below the median of this Bangsar South area. Supplies wise, probably if you're comparing as office suites, probably is a dual tower. If you, let's say, is comparing for residential, it's the LS suites. This is at Pantai Central Park. The other part that's already in under construction is actually the Rihanna trees lah. So it's under residential. So booster wise is the HSR, UA Corporate Park, or future wise probably is the Pantai Central Park. So they're going to be a similar concept. They're going to make another second UA thing in the IJM part. So they're going to have commercial, offices, residential, within just the same connectivity, because in Bangsar South, everyone says lack of residential towers to be stay, lack of office unit suites to be rented out, because when you go there, actually everyone is being occupied. So maturity point for Bangsar South as per today actually quite matured. All the corporate parks offices is being occupied. MRO for this co-unit, co-living, Airbnb is actually doing very well for Bangsar South. For if you guys don't know, they're actually commune living in the town. So Airbnb is doing super in this area as well. So as per today rental, the smallest studio, 2,000 to 2,003 for Southling. 1+1 is about 495 square feet, okay? It's about 2,003 to 2,006. 2-bedroom, close to 500 plus square feet to 600 is about 2,008 to 3,001. So L'Oreal is the latest repeat product. So it's within the same or similar kind of layout size as Southling. So the other one is Novum lah. So Novum is 1-bedroom is actually quite big sizes. It's about 2,009 to 3,002. 2-bedroom is 3,004 to 4,000. Their size is slightly bigger. It's about 1,000-ish square feet for Novum. Okay, so that's for Solarvest. So let's me bring all the panelists to the town. What do you guys think about this price point to enter Bangsar South? Maybe everyone of you have missed the train. Last time saying Bangsar South, they're so good in terms of the rental demands, prices, but missed the train. So for some context, if I'm not mistaken, Southling, when the very first batch it was launched about 700 to 750 per square feet. Yeah, L'Oreal very first batch is almost similar. Then they increased to 800. Then the second last two batch when I wanted to buy is about close to 900. The latest when they released for those Boomi lots units today is about close to 950 or 1,000 for the SPA already. So what do you think buying this Solarvest at 900 per square feet? Is it good or bad deal to go?
William,
What do you think, Zakri?
I think for me, good. I think only two-way good for my point of view. One is absolute price-wise cheap because they make it smaller size, which is I think quite standard practice nowadays. So it makes those that working in the area, able to afford one unit lah. If you're working there, you can walk to LRT or even walk to your office. Yeah, I think that would be good for those probably person buyer or even investor lah. LTV 70 buyers buying 30% rebates, zero down. I mean, it's commercial title lah, non-HDA. So probably with some cashback also lah, basically. I think it's good only in this two way. Other than that, because the other pool is parked within same building as the Chinese office. So yeah, kalau mau like go for long term own stay, like family semua tu memang tak sesuai lah, because size very small lah. So I think investment actually looking into absolute pricing alone, I think deal. But of course, perspective wise, the smaller size, the higher per square feet. So I think it's actually okay. Not really into grill or deal, but in between. So own stay wise, I think grill. I mean, it's not meant for own stay. I mean, to be honest, at least for single boleh lah. For couple, I think still okay. But yeah, anything more than couple, I don't think so. Zakri?
Me own stay, no. I think obviously the layout is for investment. No complete residential facilities also. no swimming pool, etc. No gym. Investment, kalau price, I think today's price macam okay, but concern on the, I think on the exit strategy got on the capital gain. Since this is a commercial non-HDA, it's a leasehold somehow. Also my other take is limited rental option lah, which I personally think macam susah nak compete with other resi property in the area lah. Because Solarvest is office, but if I can get the unit 1 pricing less than 900 ringgit PSF, it's a yes. Sean?
The suites is only half of it.
Until I think level 17 or
So
level
what's
20.
on top? Because I look at the
Solarvest office.
Solarvest or shit,
Mm.
office.
So two different lobby. One is based on what people are buying, and then the one is on top will actually be using a different corporate lobby to go up. So the listed co, which is Solarvest, will be occupying the top floors. The top couple of floors other than the rooftop facilities. Rooftop facility, I think there will be a restaurant and a 24-hour gym. That is currently what is being proposed. And no pool.
This reminds me of the Pinnacle. Meaning the layout is really like a commercial title. They are just and it's also like what Faizul has in the Jalan Cendana one.
Summer suites.
Yes. So it's an office building converted into a residence lah. And based on that, investment can go on. Because it's really based like okay lah, I think this is an exit strategy by the developer lah. They wanted to go office suite start jadi, then plan B lah. And I think this will work also. After going to Bangsar South offices many times, so many office towers, so many goddamn units, right? Still so packed, man. I still don't understand why. Then you see Ang Mo there, Kuai Lo there, everybody, orang Jepun, Korean, all there. So investment wise, I don't know whether you guys got deal or not, but I think this one, if the price is slightly lower, I think can go one. Even if the current price also not too bad, man. Own stay no lah, that one, because it's literally an office lah. You you wake up in the morning, go downstairs, right? Everybody in formal suits.
Different lobby.
Yeah lah, but everybody down there, semua pakai cantik-cantik, then you like, huh? I just want to buy breakfast only. Yeah lah. So that's the weird part lah.
Albee?
For me, due for investment, because actually I surveyed Bangsar South for quite some time, so I have been observed all the launches in the area, and I'm very familiar with Bangsar South. I'm here every day, so yeah, I'm here almost every day lah. So
You're
been
here
here.
every day, means you're in Bangsar South now.
I'm not staying there.
Okay. Sorry.
operating
Too much
there.
information later.
Yeah.
Don't ask further,
Tak mau
don't
tahu,
ask
tak mau
further.
tahu.
Adakah itu rumah boyfriend? So let me ask the question that everyone wants to ask lah. Right? So rumah family ke rumah boyfriend LB? Boyfriend yang mana? Nombor 1 ke, nombor 2 ke, nombor 3 ke, nombor 4?
Semua pun bukan. It's a
Oh,
clinic.
yeah.
Okay, just go for viewing purpose.
Okay.
So been there every day lah. So actually I wanted to buy Bangsar South for quite some time. So whichever property, I guess owner also go for viewing lah. Even the duplex unit, Centro, I also go for viewing. Even though it's a leasehold, 13 years old property, I also go for viewing. South Link also go for viewing. Laurel also last time I also almost purchased it. So for all the price, I guess I know it, like, okay, how's the price going? Even the launch price, probably during the MCO time, probably some of people get Laurel at a special price for about 800 or 850 only. Yeah, so I know quite certain about the price point. So for this price point, about 900 square feet today, and looking at maturity of these Bangsar South corporates, I guess it's a good goal. because yes, today if you go every day, everything is so crowded, crowded with people. You during office lunch hour, I'm not sure what's the good food in Bangsar South, but every
Yeah,
everyone
like
is
every
there.
restaurant full one. Yeah, lah.
Every
The
restaurant is
worst restaurant
full.
also packed one.
Yeah, the world restaurant also full. Everyone is queuing for the food. And this is how Bangsar South is. So this is why people say there's a demand of it. Even let's not talk about these corporates people, right? Recently, because of the opening of the border, Chinese students that come over, there's a lot of foreigner students who study in UM actually rented it because UM have limited hostel, and hostel is a bit bad. So bad to comment UM. Okay, but yeah, so that's the nearest option.
Don't simply say got 3 alumni dekat sini ya.
Actually it's
Actually,
5 of us.
All lah.
Yeah,
All.
All
Five
of us.
All.
Yeah,
Really ah?
all of us.
Huh?
Even you also study in master in UM, right?
Oh, yeah, lah. But Faizul also,
Oh,
meh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Faizul also, right? So it's 5 of us.
Oh
All.
my god, there is some more bad mouth you. Oh my god, aiyo.
So it's 5 of us. So we know how UM hostel look like. Okay. So out of no choice, Bangsar South become the best choice they can get. It's like a lot of people. So I've recently met a students who came to me, wanted to rent. I don't have unit. I just have to get an agent to sort out for them. Just of 1 bedroom, they 1+1 they rented for 2006. So this is the demand of Bangsar South. Good or bad, and also have to wait one, you have to wait for the first tenant to move out and move in the right next day. They're asking any unit that can go in straight. I say no, everyone is waiting for to move in on this for the first batch to move out. So this is how packed everyone is in the waiting list of moving in for all the students. So that's for Bangsar South market expert today. So the rental demands not only drive from this working professional. So yes, there are a lot of Angmo, Korean or Japanese. Even last time, mainly is the Angmo who will stay at a duplex unit. But today, there's a lot of Japanese and so Korean coming in, other than staying in Montreal. So they also started to stay in Bangsar South itself. So more different group of people is moving into Bangsar South. This is why I guess in terms of rental demand in the area, actually it is there lah for Bangsar South.
Kau deal lah, kau deal lah.
Yeah, kau deal. You have to wait. I was like, huh? Have to wait? Because I contacted about 10 agents. Anyone has unit that can move in like as soon as possible. Everyone said no, you have to wait about 2nd or 3rd April for you to move in. Even the old property like Andalusia, Pantai Hillpark, also asking for about 2000, 2002.
The only bad one I think now is the one opposite Pantai Central Park, the MKH one.
Then that one is still under con, right? Actually, I saw like
No,
blocking already.
the completed one. Then got one more is Centro, I think.
The
The
Malay
one next to
Reserve one, is it? The one that is viral for...
I don't know whether it's a Malay Reserve or not lah. So like now,
I think Central is not
Blue.
Malay Reserve.
so got a lot of owners
the
asking me
Savio.
like, hey, can review? And then like, why you want me to review? Oh, I want to sell because cannot sell. Then like, hey,
I think it's the Savio. Central, I think is not Malay Reserve because a lot of
Metro
foreigners
Kaja,
who
right? I
might
think it's
find-
Malay Reserve,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, no wonder.
Very odd, very odd. If I recall correctly, it was Malay Reserve. Correct me if I'm wrong lah. I mean, our audience is actually quite sophisticated lah. I'm looking at the comments here. People say, I don't know which development is LR ban foreigners or Solarvest might be a good choice. It's already an insight. So these are insight that, a lot of people, you're not going to get,
Weird
unless
people
you're
lah.
there. So I don't know what LR is.
I think it stands for maybe it's a Laurel Residence.
Laura residents.
Yeah,
So
the
Laurel lah. So
newly
ban
built one.
foreigner students or Solarvest might be a good choice. So I'm curious, why do they ban foreign students? If I were to buy Solarvest, I wouldn't want them to come lah. So yeah.
Then any news on what's the land next to Novum?
Oh, yeah. I went to
You see, why your muka berseri-seri cakap Bangsar South? I don't understand.
Oh, guys.
I go to the sales gallery and
You see the eyes
what's
bling,
coming
bling,
up?
bling. Oh, you.
Yeah.
So I go to sales guy, then they ask me, hey, what's going to happen for the Novum, right? Is currently the cement factories all right. So the agent told me it's rumors, okay, rumors that UOA might buy the land and build another corporate towers. That's the rumors that I get. And other than this, right, actually none of you actually noticed there's also a medical center going to come up. It's next to the life care center. It's already under construction. This, I guess, no one much people are talking because maybe there's
So you
already
just want to
people
show that you know more.
no, just say, hey, more potential, more tenant market. So yeah, so this is why they always say, oh, there's no much residential, you know, even though how many they built, tak cukup, everyone is tak cukup. Even go back until a bit more behind, the behind part of Bangsar South, we have N Cubic. The rental also very good, you know, in there. A studio unit also almost 1,800, 2,000. Chinese students, some of it, they just rent it at 2,002 just for a studio. Yeah, so is it further away, but they catch the similar price point with the the front part of Bangsar South, where you can walk. So I guess the demand of all this for Bangsar South is there lah. And also PSP is coming up, the Pantai Central Park, where they're going to build similar concept of UA, build offices, residential, because lack of component, right? So one is rushing in to get also even at 1,000 per square feet. Yeah, that's. But I'm not sure lah. You know, people is questioning, you know, the status of this Bangsar South will is always be good. You know, the demand is always be there. Meh? I also, you know, not sure what do you guys think that, you know, the demand of it will it become lesser? But so far when I observe, I think I've been there for about close to 2 years. I think the demand is always there because you guys worry about exit strategy, right? But for me, it's, if there's demand, that's what investor will go in even at 1,000 per square foot. You know, even at 1,000 for Southling last time, I almost actually buy the Southling also at 1,000 per square feet.
The worst thing I don't understand is only how the mall can die lah.
The mall die, not really die, but the eateries still
They wish they die
okay.
lah. I don't know. It's horrible lah.
Yeah, I mean the shopping things is not really good.
Yeah,
but
also like when
they depending on the
today doing
eateries
quite
lah.
alright. Quite happening.
I went like 2 weeks ago lah, maybe I don't know, maybe Raya or whatever. Then like you horrible eh. Ooh.
But
I don't know,
no
maybe
choice
it's
lah.
after office hour then it will be better lah.
I went there during afternoon, right before Ramadan. Okay, full of people.
That floor only lah, the food, the makan place floor only lor.
I guess
Upstairs,
I didn't go up.
upstairs is
Okay.
which is then later also convert into residential streets.
So to answer you a little bit, Sean, is it because tak jadi then they sell as an office, right? No, I think it was actually intended from day one.
Really?
So my suspicion here is that they are using the profit from the sale of the bottom floor
Oh,
to
okay.
get a free office. Right? So if you were to ask me, it's pretty smart lah for them lah. Right? So the most important question at the end of the day is that are we or people who are looking to buy this, you know, are you guys gonna be okay? Are you guys gonna be a sucker? Right? So I think it was initially being open at 1,002 per square foot. Then after rebate about 1,001, 1,050 ringgit per square foot, then about 1,000. So I think today, if anyone were to buy, because they just revised the price, I think last month, if I recall correctly, today is the lowest price point. So basically, what I think what makes sense for this product is that right now, this is the cheapest supply you can buy in the whole of Bangsar South. At less than 350,000, there's nothing cheaper. You go to Mid Valley side, also nothing cheaper. You go to Bangsar side, also nothing cheaper. You go to KL Centro side, also nothing cheaper. So if you go to all these multiple proper commercial working hotspot, there is nothing cheaper than this. So this again not a call to buy, it's just us stating the fact lah, right? That this is as of today the cheapest lah, that of things that you can buy. Now again, what I find it to be very, very strange is only basically two things lah, right? Number one, I think they hired like an Airbnb operator. They signed like an agreement or MOU, I still cannot remember, right? And the place does not have a pool, right? So for me, it's a bit weird lah. Number one. Number two here is that, why the fuck do you do that lah? Because the rental for commercial in Bangsar South is damn effing good way, right? And you got the best location. You literally have got a link bridge to the mall, and you can see the link bridge today. It's not a plan. It's there. The link bridge is ready before the building is ready. So weird, right? So you got link bridge to the mall. You are the nearest to LRT, right? And as of today, all of the officers at Bangsar South, as of today, obviously is grade A lah. They are all asking for a minimum 6 ringgit all the way to 7 ringgit per square foot, right? And there is zero supply of small individual offices available in Bangsar South, right? So you can rent it as a residential, you can do Airbnb bullshit, whatever, right? You've already hired an Airbnb operator. Again, it's very weird lah, right? Why you hire an Airbnb operator? What are you telling us? Right? This is the worst Airbnb without a pool. So like I said, we are quite honest, right? We could like certain development, but if it's weird, we're just gonna try it anyway, right? So look at how, you know, honest the UM alumni are about UM accommodation. So it's just very weird lah, right? You've got no pool, right? A gym is an afterthought, right? Gym is an afterthought, right? It's not even there from day one, right? So
that is why I think that it's an afterthought that they change it to convert into residential.
It could be like, it could be. I think it's the agents and the operator that did it. I'm not sure. Because if you're gonna, and you are right lah, if there was a thought of doing, you know, like a hotel, they should have built a pool at least. Right? So the separate entrance is okay. Where I think this is potentially can be better compared to even Summer Suites or Pinnacle is because you got a primary anchor company, right? That's going to look after, in a way, the building. Which is why they have got a separate entrance for the Solarvest Tower office and the rest of people who are buying. Because, you know, they want to make you comfortable in your singlet and short pants to go buy nasi lemak in the morning. Right? Not rubbing shoulder with a, you know, a CEO of Solarvest. Walking through.
Same leaf.
Right? So it's the cheapest, which is why we give it a very high verdict for investment. If we go to the next slide, right? So investment wise, we give it a pretty high rating, 4-star, cheapest thing there is, most likely positive cash flow, whether you do Airbnb, medium term, long term, short term, right? Because of the lack of supply in Bangsar South. And one big bonus is the fact that you can actually rent this as an office, which to me, right, if I were looking to buy this, that would be my primary target segment. I actually, most likely you will get a higher renting as an office at 6 ringgit per square foot. Because there's no choice. Right? You got no choice. Right? You got no choice. If you want to have Bangsar South address, no choice. This is the only small office supply you can find. Right? For proper Bangsar South. Right? Own stay doesn't make sense. You know, maximum 2-star. The only reason why it's 2-star instead of 1 is that, like I said, KL Centro, Mid Valley, proper Bangsar South, this is the cheapest. So, if you're a fresh grad making 4,000, you can actually own this. That's it. Right? That's why it's a own stay 2-star verdict. Other than that, facility-wise, really the worst thing you can buy in Bangsar South because it was never meant to be a residential play. Right? So yeah, that's our verdict for Solarvest Bangsar South. Right? And from experience point of view, during COVID, we've entered the cheapest property deal in Bangsar South at I think lowest was 630 per square foot. Right? Lowest at 630 per square foot. Doing very well today, basically. Yeah, doing very well today. Yeah. And I think if I were UA, I will just buy the land next door. Because I think their occupancy rate is about above 90% today. And they've got opportunity to even increase the rental if they build a better office, even 7-8 ringgit per square foot. Lack of supply. Yeah. So if you don't understand why this place appeals, I feel that if you are T20, there's a lot of food option for you. If you are B40, even better food option. Right? So that bazaar nearby RTM after my show, which I went to have nasi lemak, has got one of the best nasi lemak pagi I've tasted.
Opposite RTM.
Bukan opposite, dekat lah dengan sana.
Bazaria.
I can't remember lah, but I think the whole ikan bakar apa semua tu dekat sana tu.
Bawah
Very-
jabatan tu
The dalam thing.
So it's like everything we tried that morning was like sedap lah.
Or is it because of the interview? Just
Huh?
kidding.
Nah. We're quite objective when it comes to food. My team will know.
Okay.
Right? So I think there's something in it for everyone lah. You want a 3 ringgit nasi lemak is available in Bangsar South. Literally available. You pergilah naik bicycle ke, naik motor ke, electric scooter ke. Right? Next lah.
Okay, next one, we also have an interesting address, Bangsar, the old money people kind of address, Bangsar Hillpark, Bangsar. So this, I guess last time agent was advertising Bangsar Hillpark for investment, but today they have changed the plans to advertise these Bangsar Hillparks for own stay. So it's like, with 3,000 mortgage a month, you get to stay in Bangsar. You own a unit in Bangsar. That's the new marketing strategy by our agent. So it's a prime SIP location. It's just next to Jalan Maruf. Great connectivity. This is Bangsar. So you can go to KL Central or you can go to Country Heights, Damansara Heights area. Go to silap cakap. Behind is Damansara Heights. So then Bangsar South, okay. I'll go to all corners. Bangsar is actually quite central. So with this is actually 400 meters to RT Bangsar. So one station to KL Central. Good rental demands for, if they're comparing for KL Central, because the comparison they have given to me was actually comparing to KL Central. So this is a premium address and also a premium product and also a premium developer. So in terms of the details of the real USP of this product is, I guess actually advertising for me is quite neutral. Nothing is like too overselling the product. I think it's quite good. Prime locations, walking distance to RT Bangsar. Price was actually quite alright as well. Probably the only downside is a bit of high density, but I'm not sure will we consider high density in Bangsar because Bangsar have not much of high rises condominium. Tak banyak. Everyone see Bangsar is mostly landed or about 4 to 5 story of all kind of service residents. All those old money people stay there. So in terms of number of units, it's 2,003 units going to be different phases. So it's a leasehold. Size-wise, as per today, we have 2-bedroom up to big sizes, 3+1. Year of completion, some is going to repeat by end of this year, some is about 2027, depending on your phase. Number of story is about 55 to 56 story. Net per square feet is about 950 per square feet, or lowest can make probably is about 900 per square feet also. Facilities, because I have different phase, right? So for information, one of the phase is going to be affordable housing. So to compensate for the people or the land they have to taken up, no worries. It's going to be a separated facility, separated access, okay? Separated block, not mixed within the residential block that you guys are going to buy. So it's going to be separated, no worries. In terms of facilities, why they're going to, for the other 2 phases, 2 blocks, they are going to combine. So you're actually going to have quite a number of facilities. So this is why they are targeting for own stay as well. To stay over here, you have a badminton hall, multi-purpose hall, basketball court, karaoke room, For rooftop, they only have the viewing deck, BBQ area, and so a real pool. I guess it's just a mini concept of pool. It's not for swimming one, okay? There's no rooftop pool, but they have a level 6 swimming pool. So in terms of price accessibility as per today, Bangsar is quite central located. Amenities around, we have schools. For public transport aspect, probably it's a 400 meter to RT Bangsar. Long-term livability, I guess, is quick accessibility, comprehensive amenities. Layout-wise, I think it's actually quite all right. Okay, for 2-bedroom, 900 plus each square feet, quite livable for comfortable homes for own stay. For mortgage-wise, for the small bedroom, 2-bedroom is about 3,500 for medium 4. Okay, the big size one is close to 5,400 for Bangsar Hillpark. So in terms of medium as per today, Bangsar, there's no latest, like new property in Bangsar for high rises condominium. Nadi Bangsar is about 2017, this is about close to 8 years old as per now, was transacted about close to 1,137 per square feet. The other one, everyone shout for Bangsar, I guess probably is the success of Gaia. Gaia was launched about close to 600 or 650 per square feet, but today it was transacted close to 900 per square feet. The prices was doing great, even though this the Gaia looks outdated, old, not good, but still a lot of people rent there, still people stay there. Prices asking was also transacted was about 900, even though it's old, but because of Bangsar address, this is why the price able to retain. Tier 1 is tier 1. Upcoming supplies, yes, Bangsar seems to have very few high rises, but the one that's I guess is going to soon completed is the Bangsar 38. Alpha Bangsar is by City Motor Groups. Then we have Lanterns. Lanterns is actually more close to the Centro Federal Hill Park. I think it's going to be part of the Centro Federal Hills component, because it's actually by Centro Group as well. So this is their first phase. It's about 180 units going to be investment, also own stay, because it's a low density. Concept wise looks quite all right, but just actually for this Centro Group land, actually very big piece of land. The land is almost until the Brickfields police station there. So probably the upcoming supply for it looks good, because the hoarding bots, when I look, is actually compromising of commercials, residential, probably going to build some offices as well. So upcoming supply, maybe in future going to be 1,000 plus each also. Boosters why, I guess Bangsar is a premium and old address. There's nothing upcoming to boost up for this area. Maturity point is matured. MRO probably is whole unit. So if looking at today rental, that if you're comparing the closest is Nadi, it's not going to make you break even, because this is the old property, so not really a good comparison. But if let's say you want to take the new latest, one station away from KL Central, but you can't afford KL Central suites because it's too expensive. So looking at a 2-bedroom, Central Suite was asking about 3,500 to 4,000. So looking at back to the mortgage, where you can own a 2-bedroom in this Bangsar is close to about 3,500. So with the rental, if you're going for investment, it seems to be break even if you're comparing to KL Central's kind of number. So if you talk about Bangsar as per today, compared to old property, it's not really going to make it. But investment wise, is going to be a bit slightly break even if you're comparing to KL Central Suites area. So this is why Bangsar Hillpark today has changed. Maybe that's the reason they changed our strategy. Last time I was talking about investment, buying in Bangsar, but today it's telling you that you can own something in Bangsar with just 3,000 mortgage. In the premium addresses, a 2-bedroom. It's something that and easy to exit in future is because it's a premium addresses. That's for the Bangsar Hillpark. So without further ado, let me bring up the panelists. What do you guys think about this old address area with new blood coming up with all these new high-rise residential in the area? What do you guys think? Do you think that it's going to make it? For information, if you wanted to get a landed in Bangsar, it's going to cost you millions. Rental is about the landed is about 8,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. It's very big, But still, people was renting over the area. But that's for landed lah. It's a different game. But if you wanted for service residents, probably this is some of the option you can go for it, because not much high rise in Bangsar. I mean high rise as in like more than 10, 20 floors lah. There are some probably 4, 5 floors, 6, 7 floors, or 10 floors ish. Yeah.
William?
Yeah, I think this one macam so lah, standard lah. Actually, yeah, like what you said lah, Bangsar is not known for condo lah, to be honest. Like, landed and also like luxury, high-end, super large size condo, low rise, like what you said. So it's just another option, I would think. At this price point, yeah, renters more too, I think probably just on the Solarvest would be better good, because yeah, people there are more on with the high-rise thingy. In Bangsar, macam not so. I think probably will be similar as the Damansara Heights lah. Like, the condo there not as popular lah compared to the landed also. So that's my own verdict. And so for me, I think more to grill lah, for investment, but honestly, yeah, definitely an option. For those Bangsar wannabe, can't afford landed, but I can buy something cheaper, right? Absolutely price wise cheaper than the landed, but yeah. Okay lah, I would say boleh deal lah. But investment grade. Zakri?
Own stay. If I really like Bangsar, then yes for own stay lah. The pricing is okay, so macam not much issue on that. Location okay, considered a real Bangsar, and price macam okay lah. Investment for me lah, macam sama macam William, so but macam more to yes lah. Think the price macam okay, cuma once everything phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 completed, more supply coming lah. Tapi price less than 1K PSF, I think macam okay lah. While Nadi now asking 1,003, 1,004, transacted 1,001. So I think you're actually buying lower area market lah. So rental pun macam not bad lah. So yes.
Tapi Nadi kecil, small.
Yeah.
Not very small. That's why I can command the above 1,002. Nadi are largely what, 1 bedroom and studio, right?
Two bedder got.
And then
That's small.
the facilities are, I think Nadi is a lot better too.
Yes. But this one is considered okay in comparison to other new launches in Bangsar. The one in next to UOA, 38 Bangsar. If you will compare lah, so I think this one is much more better. Yeah.
Yeah. The product specs wise.
Yeah. Decent. So
Now got people asking, 38 Bangsar. Nah, there you go. We think this one is better.
Yeah, we view it. Yeah, actually.
I checked this project when it was launched, first tower, then okay lah. So when I look into this price, then no already lah. Because I was offered a cheaper price, but I still didn't take lah.
How much?
Wow.
How much?
No, it's just I didn't
Wait,
use
only
my
special price.
I didn't use
for-
my YouTuber power ke tak ada. No, it's really just market price only. But that time the main debate was people was against tearing down the old building, so the new building came up lah. But until now, when people look at it, nobody actually cares. They got the new residents, so it's all fine. So I'm glad that the developer went through that hurdle already. But just that now the density is the highest.
Yeah.
The density is the
In Bangsar.
highest. But it's not the worst, because in the end, next to right in front of BSC, got a few more those towers. Like there's more to the Pantai side one. Wow, all those is even worse. Secara kelompok, they all like high rise after high rise after high rise one. You know where, right?
Atas.
Atas hill one. So, and those are very expensive. That's where I thought that density is very high, but so in that point of view, then residents, like if you I don't understand why anybody would want to get a Bangsar address. Never had the romantic feeling towards that. But if you want, then this is it lah. I went to Alpha last 2 weeks ago. The location, okay, and
Next to
they
it.
couldn't sell out. I think they still got 2 units left only at that price point. So even at 1,200, they can move, right? This one 900 technically should lah. Investment, we have better deals lah. Just not like all the previous one besides the first one. I think everything else also is better than this lah. But if you are in the middle, macam nak tinggal, macam nak sewa keluar, then okay lah. Not very excited because I've seen phase 1.
Yeah. My concerns and viewpoints are very similar to Sean's. Was invited to have a look at the first phase, pre-launch. And if I recall correctly, I think it was below 800 ringgit per square foot. Right? So that price point, I think, given the fact that there's very little mass market supply in Bangsar, makes sense. If you today pay 900, 950, there are almost 1,000 people who got it cheaper lah than you lah. Right? So it's something that you really have to consider. Right? Again, if you die must stay in Bangsar, this is probably going to be the place. All right? If point gun to my head, you stay in Bangsar, you die tomorrow. I go stay here. Right? So that's point number 1. Number 2, there's going to be a lot of affordable housing that's going to be built as part of phase 3, Albee, under this project. Right? So I'm not sure what's the dynamic like lah, having a 1 million ringgit property next to a 300,000 property. Right? So the other concern is that majority of the property in Bangsar is freehold. Right? This is leasehold. Right? So majority of the property in Bangsar is leasehold. This is is freehold. This is leasehold. Right? So again, you have to think about that into consideration. If you talk about, let's say, for example, Bangsar South, majority of the property is leasehold. Right? So you buy something leasehold, everything else also leasehold, okay lah. You only got one weird property called Panorama, which is freehold in the whole of Bangsar South. Everything else is leasehold, right?
Some of it is freehold, some. But latest all in Bangsar South is leasehold. Some old property, Southview, Southling is freehold actually. But other than that, Centro, all that is also leasehold. Even though it's old property, is lease also, depending on where.
It's a majority leasehold, right? Versus
Majority
some freehold.
leasehold.
That's fine. So even the one that we discussed, the Metro Kajang one, I forgot the name again. That one, if I recall correctly, is Malay Reserve freehold. Which is why you can buy at 500 ringgit per square foot today in Bangsar South. Because it's Malay Reserve. Less than 600 ringgit per square foot you can buy. Right? So those are a couple of concerns for us. In terms of verdict, it's a pretty neutral verdict. If you are looking to buy for investment, there are better returns because I don't think you can get a positive cash flow. But this is not going to be a too bad property for own stay, especially if you love the Bangsar. Right? You want to own something in Bangsar, pay about 1 million ringgit odd. Right? They're not much better property. Of all the property under construction, this is probably the best thing you can buy today, I guess, at below 1,000 ringgit per square foot. Right? Federal Hill is going to come by SP Setia. Price point will be above 1,000 ringgit per square foot. But that one, I think most likely will be freehold, right? If I recall correctly, Federal Hill. Right? So yeah, that's the verdict lah. 2.5 star for own stay. If you like Bangsar, this is okay. Right? Investment, not the cheapest, right? Not the most expensive too. Just remember that if you are paying 950 per square foot, it's 150 ringgit per square foot higher compared to the guys who bought before lah. Just one or couple of 2 or 3 years ago lah. Which means it's a significant disadvantage lah. Right? So it's like the Balik versus the Solarvest just now, where the people who bought early bought more expensive compared to people who bought today, right? So for us, you know, given the fact that we advise largely on investment, profile of the people who buy are also for investment. Well, typically we want to make sure that we enter the lowest price point, right? Not the highest. Okay. Next.
Right. So next property to review, Skyline Embassy, right? So we all can see ads is banyak juga lah. Even the agent tour is everywhere. Sampai Johor. So I just pergi visit lah one of the booth dekat Paradigm Mall JB. For a KLCC property, for the KL property, so they are selling up until Johor Bahru, right? So this one called Skyline Embassy, located at Jalan Nampang, Kuala Lumpur, really near to Jalan Nampang. It's a Jalan Nampang and Jalan Tun Razak intersection, right? It's really near. It's about 200 meter distance to the intersection, and the landmark is just next to the link, Jalan Tun Razak, next to Intermart Mall, right? So first, how do agent outside portray the Skyline Embassy from their marketing POV, right? First is prime KLCC address. If you know, you know. This is not a proper KLCC vicinity lah. So we would say this is Jalan Nampang on the west side, right? To the KLCC side, yes, but it is still a Jalan Nampang non-KLCC side lah, right? And it's a freehold property, yes, it is. An excellent connectivity, yes, it is also. Located at Jalan Nampang, Jalan Tun Razak intersection, less than 1 km to KLCC, about 300-meter walking to LRT, MRT, Ampang Park, right? And maximize rental, especially dual key options, right? The thing here is that we have checked with at least 2-3 agents lah, at least saying the same thing. Mortgage 3,000, rental can get 5,000, right? The 3 agents saying the same thing. But based on our study, it is not. But still giving a break even a positive cash flow lah, right? It's not as high as paying 3,000 mortgage can get 5,000 rental on the same layout lah, right? And last but not least, they are integrated hub to the mall offices and super landmarks, right? So summarize, right? Agent always keep mentioning about KLCC, so comparable to KLCC, rental KLCC good, etc. etc. And apart from location and MRT is already good, right? The sales is also quite good lah. But they always mentioning about KLCC, where we mentioned initially, this is actually Jalan Nampang to the west. It is towards the KLCC, but it's not really a KLCC market lah, right? And also to set a contact, they also got sell this to foreigners, Singaporean, right? That's why they have this booth dekat JB sana, right? They even got about fuel lah, booth in JB lah, right? So this one is based on agents marketing POV. Next slide. So let's see on the
Sorry, Zach, you are saying that they are marketing this heavily kat JB and you saw them.
I pergi sana, jumpa diorang. Pergi, I talked to the
Kat JB
agent dekat JB. 2 days ago.
Balik raya, pergi mall, jumpa KLCC produk.
Betul.
Ni cuba scam Singaporean lah ni yang tak tahu KLCC kat mana. Right?
I hope the agent kalau watching now, I hope you guys tak rasa kena scam lah. So I talked a lot to you 2 days ago. I just
Orang Singapore selalu je pergi sini kena tipu. Right? Pay 1,004 per square foot. Ingat beli KLCC sheet, rupanya beli ampang sia. Ampang sia. So Singapore.
Siang. Right? So let's see on what we think of the real USP for this project lah. Yes, it's still only about 300-meter walking to the MRT and LRT Ampang Park. So dekat je. Memang I think before, even kalau tak ada link tak ada cover walkway pun is really convenient lah. But to have a cover walkway is much more better, right? The agency they propose lah to have a cover walkway to at least a zebra cross, right? So location we can't deny is already good. It's freehold, yes. Excellent connectivity, yes. And this is prime Jalan Nampang that we think, right? Because the market is not totally comparable to the KLCC lah. But you got the KLCC premium, yes. But this is we can say it's not, we can't say a KLCC property lah, right? And this considered a high density to have a 1,200 units in Jalan Ampang vicinity, because we can see new launches or older property in Jalan Ampang, all low rise and low density, about 200, 300 units. The most is about 800 units lah, right? Especially towards the embassy side lah, right? So next slide. Right, so this is the info for Skyline Embassy. As usual, you can screenshot first, not gonna go into details here. But roughly, they have 6 type of layout, from 1+1 bedder up to 3 bedder for the bigger size, right? And 1 type for dual key for 2 bedder, right? And price roughly about 1,000 to from 1,250 PSF up to 1,004, 1,005. Depends on the floor and facing. And it will be completed around 2027, right? And they have 2 swimming pool, one in rooftop and the one in the podium lah, right? And the rooftop pool, that one that facing KLCC side lah, right? So next slide. Okay, so let's see on the own stay perspective for this project. In terms of accessibilities, clearly stated this is Jalan Nampang. So ada Akli nearby, Smart nearby, Jalan Tun Razak, Sprint. So really convenient, location is good. Amenities wise, not much primary schools because it's quite center, but they do have international schools nearby, healthcare, groceries, right? Public transport, obviously 300 meter to MRT, LRT, and Ampang Park. And the mortgage here is based on the random lowest PSF unit lah, right? So we can see for the smallest to the biggest type, about 3,200 plus up to 5,500 plus. Depends on the unit, floor, and facing lah. All right, next slide. So this one for investment perspective, median subsale here as of today for this Jalan Nampang West non-KLCC, about 1,400 PSF in median. The most contributor to this number is from Pavilion Embassy, right? And for older development, considering the same vicinity, towards the Intermark side also, about 820 ringgit PSF. And the Skyline Embassy just now is about 1,003 PSF, like that, right? And we consider this area as tier 2 area since this is Jalan Nampang non-KLCC. And supply can see here newly completed, as well as undercon towards Sampang side with lower density lah, right? So you can see here 800 plus unit, 200 plus, 300 plus unit lah, right? And this area considered matured. Rental wise, close comparison in terms of year of completion, and also the location wise is Pavilion Embassy, 1 bedder up to 4,006, 2 bedder 5,000 plus, 5,005, 3 bedder 6,005, and 4 bedder up to 9,000. But to put some disclaimer, Pavilion Embassy will look better in terms of spec. So it's a luxury spec and it's a lower density development that has a mixed component, right? They have offices, they have commercial down there, and also they have residential. But there's no one located as close as Skyline Embassy to the MRT and LRT and Ampang Park lah, right? So Pavilion Embassy a bit far. Might as well the occupant punya segmentation also different lah for these two, right? So next, right? The thing, let me bring along the panelists. What do you guys think this Skyline Embassy is a deal or grail for this on-stay investment? Do you guys think it's a good deal or not?
Surprisingly, the sales was picking up. I mean, probably 1 or 2 years ago, their sales was actually a bit slow because of the constructions. Currently, I'm not sure, maybe they moved to JB also to advertise to foreigners as well. So sales was doing quite okay as well, because completion maybe in 1 year time, probably. This is why people started to buy in at this price point. And the other thing also they advertise is like they'll compare to KLCC as usual. Everyone is comparing to KLCC. They'll say this is 30 to 40% below median. And yeah, I also got the ads of buying at Embassy garden area with just mortgage 3,000, your rental can get 5,000. Some ads even give me 6,000. I was like, hey, 6,000 also come out already. to push this. But surprisingly, sales curry was actually picking up for this price point. But if for me, because in the role we have Pavilion's Embassy lah. We also know Pavilion's kind of branded power. I don't know the name. It sort of can able to sustain the prices and also things, right? So if for me for this price point, if for investment, for me it's so not really a good goal. Or if out of choice, KLCC prices today is 2,000 ish, but I really wanted to go for something, okay, maybe this is the only choice I can go. Maybe I'll consider. But if for Wednesday, for this price point, this area, if you wanted to buy a KLCC as a retirement place, but not a crowded KLCC, but at a less crowded area, maybe okay for the connectivity, layout and sizes, price like at least at this area. But investment macam so for me, not really a deal for me actually, for this price, this location or the potential of it lah. The rental, maybe Pavilion can judge. I mean, can get the rental, but for this Skyline, I'm not really sure how it goes because Jalan Ampang is long. It can go until Selangor area of Jalan Ampang. So if you really wanted to go a bit downward of Jalan Ampang, there's actually a lot of supplies there. That rental was not really doing quite okay, quite well. Yeah, so it's just so. Yeah, and also maybe just little bit further the Jalan Ampang, maybe the prices also maybe half of it. Maybe you can get about 700, 800 today market lah. Last time I guess is 1,000, 2,000, 3 also at the jauh sort of Jalan Ampang, but not today lah. That's my take for this Skyline Embassy, this Jalan Ampang road.
Same as you, Albee, basically. Along that road, there's too much options. This price point wise, not too attractive in terms of proximity to amenities, like what Zakri said, right? To intermarts, all that stuff. Not that close, although close, but not that close. And yeah, just not attractive in that sense lah. Kalau orang stay pun normally that area, I think I met some clients before looking for that area kind of property, embassy area. They're looking for bigger size lah. This one not too big, right? It's really more on investment side of it. So macam tak suitable for that area punya locality punya demand lah. So I think homestay and investment macam great for me lah, basically. Yeah, for that in that sense. Zakri?
Honestly, no for me because I would rather go for other options. Jalan Ampang, one road away juga, sama 1 to 2 kilometer away, much more lower price. Still can go to KLCC. Investment also, no lah. If I can secure any price lower, PSF okay, especially for unit that facing KLCC one.
How much?
Below
500. Huh?
below 1,000 I think the product is macam okay lah. Got top pool location quite good also. Can go TRX, KLCC, other MRT. I think about 3 station away to a TRX, 1 station to KLCC. So just concern here is I think the rental code. Where potentially many unit push rental lower than KLCC, of course. This is not KLCC, and in comparison to Pavilion Embassy juga, Pavilion Embassy is really high. So this one potentially cannot fetch lah, Pavilion Embassy. Plus this one considered high density in Jalan Ampang lah. Yeah. So I think no for both.
I think we did the Battle Royale on this before, right?
We did.
So I think we kind of covered that extensively already, and now even higher price compared to that time.
Yeah.
So nothing much to talk about. I think for those who want to know more, watch the Battle Royale battle lah. But the funny thing is when people who don't know about real estate still thinks that KLCC is the location to be. That's the funny thing lah. For people who don't know, right? Oh, KLCC has the best returns, best this, best that. But for those who are in the chat today, right, all know that it's the worst. So that's something, some cool observation. And when you listen to people describing a property, then suddenly you know what kind of level are they in already in terms of information.
I think it's just something that is easy for people to buy. You know what I mean? Because it's such a well-known area. You know, if you are a waterfish foreigner, right? So you don't know,
Anyway,
you're not gonna know Maluri, right? You're not gonna know, the other better locations like Dutamas and whatnot, right? So what do you buy? You buy what is known to you lah. 1005 Desa Park City, wow, very cheap compared to my country, buy. Right? 2005 KLCC, wow, very cheap compared to my country, buy. So everything is cheap relative to Singapore lah, which is why I think almost every agent, the moment they see something overpriced for local, first thought process, let me go and sell this to Singaporean. And I mean, if you are from Singapore, and obviously there's going to be some sophisticated investors, but most of the first time investors out of Singapore will not be that sophisticated, will not know the difference between Jalan Ampang and KLCC. Right? Because it's that near. Right? It's really that near. Right? So I think there's a comment from YouTube that basically saying that the information is wrong. It's not the same level of story. He's basically claiming that it's a 32 story. Right? So if we are wrong, then I guess we have to correct it lah. We have to own it lah. So apologies for that. As you know lah, we review more than beratus, a few hundred developments. Not just for Battle Royal, but we've got DOG Battle Royal. We also have our own in-house. So sometimes, we are human lah. We make mistakes lah. We could do it right for 99% of the time. We don't get it right for 1%. Right? So for that, I apologize if we do make a mistake. In the grand scheme of things, based on what is currently being discussed, so because you got a 2,500 ringgit per square foot property in KLCC next to graveyard, suddenly this looks good. Right? Suddenly this looks good, right? Because everything is relative lah, in comparison of something. Right? A Rolex is good compared to what? A AP is good compared to what? Right? This location is good compared to what? It's always something better, and there's always going to be something worse. Right? So for us, I guess if you were to compare to the things that you can buy within the KLCC vicinity, not KLCC, but KLCC vicinity, all right? So your Jalan Ampang, a bit of Raja Uda, Kampung Baru or whatnot. And this seems to be quite reasonable, right? If you're gonna go buy Raja Uda at 1,002, 1,003, right? Versus proper Jalan Ampang, right? At 1,003, 1,002, then it kind of makes sense to go and buy Jalan Ampang. Right? For us, it does not make much sense because today we're just buying something better lah, right? And today we are buying proper Bukit Bintang, proper TRX at cheaper price point. So that's just what we are buying, right? So again, everything is relative. You compare to a 2005 KLCC next to a graveyard, wow, this one looks like a screaming buy. Then you compare to what we are buying at 1,002, 1,003, walkable to TRX. Right, you don't have to cross the highway and die like this one, which is the Lampang. Right? You want to go KLCC, you have to cross. Right, it's quite far. Right, so and it's a busy highway. Right, it's just much better lah. Right, so the verdict, the verdict here, if you look at the slides, right, so verdict is actually quite okay. Right, based on the price point today, right, we give it a 3-star for both own stay and also for investment, given that we are comparing it what everything else is selling as of today. Right? What everything else is selling as of today. Right? Clubhouse doesn't make much sense a couple of weeks ago. Suddenly makes sense today. Right? So everything is relative, right? So if tomorrow someone launch Yap Kwan Sing nearby graveyard at 3,005 per square foot, then suddenly, everything else looks cheap now.
Tiba-tiba.
Become, you know what I mean? This becomes a screaming buy. So if I were a developer with 10 land banks in KLCC, I would purposely launch one crazy 4,000 square foot tower next to a graveyard, which I know cannot sell, just to justify selling something better at 3,000. Right? Because that's the name of the game. People are simple. Right? Why should you buy this? This one, not too far away, is cheaper than the one next to your graveyard, 2,700 ringgit in KLCC. Right? And the agents know it, the developer also know it. So your job as a consumer watching this is that it's just to make sure that you are fully aware with what you are buying. Again, no right, no wrong. Right? No right, no wrong. It's a question that are you fully familiar with what you're buying? So the only thing we're not happy with this development is the fact that it's being marketed as KLCC, which is a confirmed scam. Right? Because this is not KLCC. This is Jalan Ampang. Right? Go watch Battle Royale. We divided Jalan Ampang into 4 areas, right? Proper Jalan Ampang. Jalan Ampang is quite long. Right? And we know what's the border, right? So the moment you pass by Jalan Tun Razak, that's no longer KLCC. Okay? So guys, as a buyer, you just have to be fully aware that, there are going to be some developers, some agents going to creatively market property walkable to this, right? They only didn't tell you it's going to take 4 hours to walk, but it's walkable, right? So to something, right? So buyer beware, please be mindful. I guess the only other concern as of today for anyone looking at this development here is that if you're going to enter at 1,250 or 1,003, right? You are paying the highest price point in the whole of Jalan Ampang ever. All right, so FYI. And number 2, even within this development, you're also paying at the highest price point possible. Right? So, buyer beware lah. Right? So I think, again, location-wise, they've got a pretty decent story. They don't have to overclaim, because even at 1,003, right, per square foot, it looks to be quite okay. Now, given the fact that it's going to have the nicer facilities, also walkable to a bunch of things, it's already quite okay. Not sure why the agent have to scam people into selling this as a KLCC area. Right? Next, last one.
Zakri's favorite.
Right. So next property to review, this one in JB, right? Johor Bahru. It's called Centro JB. So this one is located dekat dengan city center of Johor Bahru, Jalan Yahya Awal lah. Jalan Yahya Awal. Landmark is TNB Johor Bahru HQ, so just next to it, about 3 km to CIQ First Link. Yep. So first, how do agent outside market this project? First is a below market value property. We would say yes, it is. New launches in the area pricing at 700 ringgit PSF plus even up to 750, more than that, right? This one is non-RTS, non-CIQ punya vicinity lah, outskirt. This one roughly about 550 PSF. I would say is below market price, right? And strategic location, as mentioned, about 3 km to First Link CIQ. Free shuttle bus to CIQ from the Centro JB. Low entry costs, banyak cost covered by developer, and it's a freehold property lah, right? So context, right? As per our latest information, non-Bumi units was fully taken as per 2 years ago, and now left only Bumi units. And many agents want to push this project, potentially due to the maybe, and skeptical view on the Bumi purchases lah. Because we would say the Centro is an investment property, so not much agent keen to sell, as well as not much Bumi keen to buy lah, right? But there was a concern about the project, also a concern about the project punya progress and completion lah, where this project was pre-launched back in year 2015 like that, and they just got the PDL about 2021 macam tu, right? So yeah, So this is based on the agent's marketing POV. Next slide. Right, so this is what we think of the real USP for this project lah. Yes, it's a below market price, at least about 25% from the new launches comparable lah, lower than that. And this price is actually about 30 to 50 ringgit, matching the old median transaction already in the area. And its prime location considered a tier 1 JB lah. And we would say that this one is really accessible to GBCIQ. Convenient wise, where the distance is close and they're gonna provide the free shuttle bus to CIQ, freehold properties some more, and great investment layout lah. That we would say that the developer is optimizing the layout proposition. I think the layout is correct lah, right? Not too big for this particular development. But the only concern here is that high density development. Only one development, only one whole development is up to about 2,400 units plus under 3 residential towers, right? Next slide. So this is the info. As usual, you can screenshot. But roughly the layout is from 226 square feet up to 900 square feet plus from studio to 3-bedder. With their layout that dual key sizing at 500 plus square feet lah. We would say that really optimize the layout lah, where the studio is ranging below 400 square feet, and for 1-bedder is from 400 plus up to 500 plus lah. And 3-bedder is up until 900 lah. I think it's a normal size for 3-bedder, but the rest I think is one of the optimized kind of investment layout lah. All right, and the pricing is about 550 PSF, plus minus lah, depends on the unit and the layout. They have 3 towers and 3 separated facilities with swimming pool for each towers. So 3 total of swimming pool for the whole development, 1 each. And one of the towers got rooftop pool facing Pantai Lido side lah, to the Singapore, right, which is the tower C. Okay, next slide. So let's see on the own stay perspective for this project. In terms of access, this is located 3 km as mentioned to CIQ Johor First Link to Woodlands. Access considered solid lah. Johor Woodlands Causeway is nearby, EDL to the northern part of JB, Jalan Tun Abdul Razak, Skudai Highway to the north part also of Johor Bahru. Quite numbers of educational institutions, private and public, including the universities and colleges, hospitals and malls, and quite number of all nearby lah, right? Public access, 3 km distance to CIQ or RTS with shuttle bus from Centro, right? And bawah sekali, here we put approximate mortgage on 90% from SPA at 4% interest rate lah. So for all the layouts starting from about 1,002 plus for studio up to close to 2,000 ringgit plus approximately for the bigger size. So this is considered low as the price is also low lah, all right, for the mortgage. And next, on the investment perspective, right? So there's no new median transaction here comparable to this Centro. Hence the median subsale here that we pull out is the JBRTS punya subsale lah. But for older median is roughly about 530 ringgit PSF in this particular area lah, right? Comparable to Centro, which Centro pricing about 550 PSF. And this area can be categorized as tier 1 area, since the launching price of this area about up to more than 700 PSF lah, right? That hence you can watch our Battle Royale, JB Battle Royale, how we create the tiering area lah. So this one is considered tier 1. Booster for this area, the biggest booster is gonna be one of the big game changer lah, which is the RTS Bukit Chaga Woodlands and also the ART GB, right? And maturity point, we considered this area as semi-matured. Super big booster coming up, the RTS and also ART. And MRO, multiple rental option for this one is, we think the most suitable is a whole unit room rental and Airbnb lah, right? And for rental here, the closest comparable is a newly completed veranda resident under master plan under Albee. Studio roughly can go up to 1,008, one bedder up to 2003, two bedder up to 2007, three bedder up to 2008 lah. I can see the other two, Golden Sands and City Woods, older property near up to 3,000 for three bedder. For two bedder is up to 2006 lah for this area, right? So next. Right, so let me bring along the panelists again. What do you guys think about this Centro GEB? Is it a deal or grill for own stay and investment?
How much price again? Price per square feet?
550.
550 ah.
Yeah.
Then investment memang deal lah. Tapi unit tak ada kan. So yeah, investment deal definitely, knowing the current market. Right. So book whenever it's available. For me lah, kalau on stay size not so lah. I mean, again, like across the road, Albee World, there's 3 phases. Yeah, I think my friend bought one. I forgot the phase name already. I think after Veranda Road. So that one bigger size, similar to Vertical lah in Maruri. That one is in JB itself, near RTS. So I think I would say probably choose that one for bigger size. This one is more smaller lah, for single couple kind of layouts. So yeah, I think straightforward for me. Investment deal. At this price point, you just can't find anything at this price already lah. For new launch, some more. Yeah. Zakri? Yeah.
So
Your kampung?
no,
Uh,
I'm sorry in advance disclaimer, this is my favorite project. So no for stay due to the layout is really built for investment. And the density is considered, I think, high lah, more than 2,400 units in total. For me, not sustainable in long run for own stay lah, own stay. Investment wise, I think obviously yes lah. The price is really good. Potentially you're looking up to more than 4-figure cash flow. With conservative rental rate pun, right? Due to the sizing, I think is a correct sizing for investment, right? Match with the market for Johor Bahru, people working in Singapore, renting room rental, blah, blah, blah. So this one is one of the best option for those who are renting for room rental and apa semua lah. Yep. The pricing is correct. Just concerned about the long-term maintenance code, and because of the high density, I think the maintenance fee also quite low, but they have the rooftop facilities and rooftop pool, right? And the other concern, I think the construction progress, because the pre-launch days, as I said, close to 10 years ago, but they only got the APDL about 3-4 years ago. It should be completed this year, but as per this year, there's only one tower topping lah. So 2 tower only reaching the podium lah. So I think, yeah, investment, yes, with the concern, discount.
Starting too cheap, no money to complete. Need to revise also hard lah. Iherng, right? Yeah lah.
So
For
they
me-
sold out before or after COVID?
After.
I think it's
So
after,
after-
because
After.
last time I also wanted to buy a non-boomi as a non-boomi purchaser. I think a year or 1.5 year ago. That time already non-boomi already no stock at
Taken.
all.
Yeah.
All taken up. You want,
Taken.
you go for waiting list, very long. I don't even get a.
But
like,
then so long
Oh.
already, technically Boomi really should be done, ma.
Yeah, also quite weird.
Yeah.
But I asked agent, they haven't released any new
Hmm.
unit yet.
Yeah.
I
They
think they have
should
not met the
Yeah.
requirement to
Yeah.
release.
Because you just do the marketing 6 months, 4 different paper, 2 different online media, 搞掂嘛.
I think there's also a minimum completion
Construction.
stage requirement.
Ah,
Mm.
okay. For that one, I got no visibility lah.
Yeah.
Yeah lah, but I think price-wise, I think it looks like a mistake though.
550
Think
or
so, yeah.
in Centro.
Yang Jalan Yaya awal
Mm.
Don't eat the asam pedas one. Yeah, so Yeah, lah, I think you say like that, right? Investment wise, I look into the floor plan. I think the bigger units, the dual key one looks excellent, right? I think the studio, I won't take the smallest one. I will take the dual key one, which
100
you
plus.
average out is better though. Yeah, and they have the shuttle bus. Like now, the magic formula for all developments in that area is shuttle bus. Suddenly you put a shuttle bus, everything you can charge a lot more. And I think everybody is doing it, so it's also good. Every project can move now. But at this price point, and like no stock, I talk for what? So when you say your favorite project you bought,
Me ah,
Zakri, yeah.
Agent tak mau
uh,
entertain him.
susun. Tengah susun.
you boomy buy lah, buy berlambak-lambak. Then
Wait for Faizul to bring in.
then I will come
I
in at
wait.
silence.
Wait Faizul to bring in.
Investor sini. Investor.
Look, I think it's all right. I don't know whether they made a pricing mistake because this was launched, I think right after COVID. So if right after COVID, I don't think it was a pricing mistake, because if it was a pricing mistake, FACAP would have been there from day one.
Okay.
It only became a pricing mistake in hindsight, given what has happened in Johor in the last 18 months, because Johor has basically entered a property bull run. And again, we did a better royal for Johor, right? This is basically part of tier 2, right? Not even tier S, right? So I think this is a pretty decent buy. We've had a look at it before, but there were just many other better buys. So this is probably number 6, number 7 best buy in the last 3 to 4 years for us in Johor. Because, we entered something 15 minutes to CIQ at 330 ringgit per square foot, right? So that's that. We entered something 5 minutes to CIQ, which is at less than 1,005 under house key at that point of time, and you get a 4-bedroom proper, and our buyers are making a fucking killing, because you pay 1,006 per month and rental is 4,005, right? So it's like crazy cash flow, duduk free, and still get 1,000 per month positive cash flow, right? So they're just way better buys than Centro at that point of time. Now, of course, all of this property has been gone. As of today, I would rate it as the 3rd best property available, right? Dekat Johor Bahru proper. From maybe number 6 or number 7 back then, today number 3 lah. So yeah, maybe we'll re-engage. We like the fact that it has got a rooftop pool, which is actually quite rare for Johor, right? So I love the fact that we do DOG and our audience are not newbies, right? So you can see, for example, from the comment, right? So one of them said, Centro has been renamed to Sinaran Residency, right? Recently, right? Then one guy said, ramai buyer Centro mengamuk dengan developer at this moment with leh. So I'm not sure what leh mean. I think way lah. But basically, right? So I suspect because of the delay lah, right? So we and for us to bring any project to FACAP, in a way, we have to study from a cash flow point of view. If you were to bring buyer in, will the developer still have the means to go and complete the project, right? So that's the consideration. But today, I think we are buying something better at a tier 2 area, which is better than this area, but not that near to CIQ lah. But it's a way better area, way more mature, at just 420 ringgit, 400 ringgit and 420 ringgit per square foot lah, right? Developer has got no problem to complete the project. In fact, the project about to be completed, right? So while this project seems to be quite good because of the proximity to CIQ, the reality is that we're just buying something better lah, right? Something a lot more proven too lah, and a lot less units too, right? So the Aurelia, the one that we bought, less than what, 300 units, area wise confirm positive cash flow, because the first best buyer all making a killing again. Bought a 350,000 property, today renting at 4,000, right? So we did very well in Johor, right? We had the foresight to enter in 2020, and today things are happening as per the plan, right? So, and our best one is yet to come, right? Our best one is yet to come. Because maybe in the next 6 months, depending on how well this month's trip to Johor went, we're gonna see the first property under 600,000 ringgit can get 5,000 per month positive cash flow.
Hey, you guys going JB?
I mean,
This
we're
month?
waiting, lah, right? So there's a property that, there's a property that we're already buying as of today, and you know the area, right? So it's part of tier 1. The one below 1 ringgit per square foot. Wellness elderly operator joining this trip together. Indicatively, they are looking at pricing per room at 3 to 4 ribu ringgit. 1 room.
Hey, when you guys go out, this might be a bit free.
I will let you know. I will
Okay.
let you know.
Okay.
But I think the team is going this week. So if I
Okay.
correct, it's 2 days from now. So and I had something on here. So but I will meet them after they come back. Right. So yeah. So I think Johor is just gonna break a bunch of records. So this property, provided they can complete it, is as safe as it can be at 500 ringgit per square foot. Right? It's a no-brainer. Layout good, location good, shuttle bus ada. Right? So the primary question, just complete the project. Right? So I think one of the main reason why they start from a cash flow point of view may be because Bumi allocation. So if they don't get Bumi release, and let's say Bumi quota, say 50%, right? So I'm not sure what's the Bumi quota for this project. We have to go and study. So they don't have the means to go and complete the project unless they sell minimum 30 to 40% of the existing Bumi quota. Right? That's that. So, and I mean, Zakri is our head of research. His job is to look at hundreds of property together with Albee. So the fact that these two are already, and William, first time I see, no if, no but, wah, and William, the girlfriend pun dekat Singapore. So I think, very excited lah, right? So let's see. If got luck, we'll bring this project lah, and hopefully we can buy at the cheaper price point, dekat Fakap. Right? So yeah. So star-wise, verdict-wise, I think it's quite predictable. Investment verdict 3.5. Really, the only downside for this project is 2 things: density, completion. Right? Homestay, not very livable, given the fact that majority of the people is gonna stay here is gonna be tenants. Right? And most likely is gonna be the Singapore commuting tenants, not even Malaysian. Yeah, very straightforward. Okay. So that's that. I think we've covered all projects, right, for tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. So for those, for example, before we go to Q&A, right? For those who are looking to get help to buy a decent property, safe property, if you can see tonight, we rarely like a property, right? So in fact, for tonight, we only like 2 property of the 5 being discussed, right? The rest of them quite, we had to be honest about it, right? So if you want to buy safe property that won't lose money, right? And if you want our help, you can sign up for our one-off service of 499, whereby we can help you find property that give you either cash flow, cashback, right? Capital gain, or even for 70% LTV, you can still buy property at 0 down, even on 70% financing, because our discount is more than 30%. Right? So even as a foreigner, you can basically subscribe to this service rather than kena scam dengan agent jual you KLCC property but actually jual kat Ampang. Right? So yeah. So with that, I think we can move to Q&A.
All right. So, our first question. Okay, is it true that Embassy area has the same competitive rental market as KLCC?
It's not lah, which is why you have to watch Better Royal lah. Right? We spoke very, very harshly towards Jalan Ampang because of the supply and the fact that there's a lot of property that went for auction in Jalan Ampang. It's quite notorious. Right? So you have to really understand what you are buying. Nothing wrong in Jalan Ampang, right? If you enter the right price point. And again, our price point for Jalan Ampang was 630 ringgit to 650 ringgit per square foot. So that's what we entered at Jalan Ampang. Right? Compared to the discussion tonight, or people looking to buy 1,002, right? And a lot of Singaporeans buyers are buying at 1,002, 1,003 per square foot because they thought they're buying KLCC. And we are entering at 650 ringgit per square foot. And we still have problem to get break-even rental at 650 per square foot. So, it's not the same area, right? It's not the same area. Please beware. Okay.
Okay, our next question. Armani Hallson KLCC has a direct link bridge to KLCC. How does that affect rental value and on stay appeal?
First, I don't know how they will have a direct link bridge to KLCC. It sounds like a next to impossible story for me lah. They have to lobby KLCC Holdings, right? To go to it. They have to lobby DBKL to go and approve it, and then whoever that owns, for example, operating within that property all the way to KLCC, they also have to ask for permission. So unless they're willing to pay a lot of money, right, to get this done, I don't see it happening. Right, so that's point number one. Now, assuming it happens, what will be the impact? Very little. Right, very little. Very little. There's no property as of today has got direct link to any of the shopping malls other than, for example, if you're talking about Pavilion Residence, right? Bayan Tree, for example, did not make money. Right? Bayan Tree, I think ada link bridge dekat Pavilion. Macam tengok ada jambatan lah. I also cannot remember ada ke tak ada lah. But at 1,008 did not make money. So yeah, some audience cakap yes ada, right? So if I recall correctly, I macam pernah nampak, but I'm too poor to stay in Banyan Tree. So I bukan Bangsar have, right? So I never stay in Banyan Tree. I've got a friend who bought and cursed the workmanship of Banyan Tree, right? Never experienced it myself. But Banyan Tree did not make money to my knowledge right? So, and it was at 1,005, 1,006, 1,008 per square foot. Still did not make money. Okay.
Okay. Next question. I am looking to increase my cash savings buying property. Is there a good property deal for me in Far Capital as a first-time investor?
I mean, if you're a first-time investor, almost everything that we buy requires zero down basically. Right? So almost everything that you buy in Far Capital, we have a position of 1 or 2 properties, zero down and 90% loan. Right? I think the best property you can buy today, assuming you can get 600,000-700,000 loan, is a 200,000 cashback. Right? And there's still a possibility that that property becomes positive cash flow. Right? So our most ridiculous cash out story is that buy a property, get 500,000 cashback because 50% discount, and property can get break even. Right? So the answer to your question is that we have too many property that will give you cash if you are first time home buyer. So, and our biggest cashback for property on 70% financing is still about 100,000. Even on 70% LTV. So, yes, easy.
Okay. Next question. Solarvest Bangsar South with the LRT, KL Getaway and all the corporate hubs nearby, is it safe to say demand here is evergreen?
I think very hard to beat. Is the smallest thing there is the cheapest thing there is. The only time you fuck up in a way is just you deploy the wrong rental strategy. That's it. All right. Location wise is the nearest to LRT. It's one of the nearest to the mall, even though the mall is relatively quite dead. Right. But yeah, you deploy the wrong rental strategy. Still very hard to get it wrong.
What could be the worst move What could be the worst move? I'm just thinking like because it's so hard to get it wrong, right? Then what would be the worst move ever?
I think renting it as a bare unit,
Ah,
right?
meaning like you still can don't want to put everything lah.
Yeah. So you rent it as a bare unit, you might get like 800 or 1,000. But you do fully furnished, you can get 50% to 100% higher. All right. So the thing is this, right, guys? So you can buy the wrong property and still get it right because it's all about 50-50, right? First 50% is that you buy the right property at the right price point. The more important balance 50 is that you know what to do with the property after you bought it. Right? I'll give you an example, right? This week, I just got a report. We bought something in Bukit Jelutong last year. So when I wanted to enter this particular deal at that point of time, you know, my co-founder wasn't very comfortable simply because we don't know Bukit Jelutong. We've never done Bukit Jelutong. But I vetoed that decision anyway because at less than 430 ringgit per square foot is below replacement cost, right? And rental in Bukit Jelutong at that point of time was very bad, right? And as our clients bought the property and they bought about 40% discount, right? At 40% discount, right? And they bought the property. Upon VP, agents are telling us rental 1,800, 2,000 maximum. I say, fuck that shit, right? Go and do as per our rental plan and never ask for anything below 2006. And so far, we have gotten rental of 2008 onwards. Fast forward this week, right? One unit got tenanted for 4,001, not even 1 month rental, 12 months rental.
Ooh.
So can you imagine? You bought a 420 ringgit per square foot property, freehold in Bukit Jelutong, less than 300 units, super low density, right? Right? Super low density freehold, right? No graveyard, right? So,
They're close to the mall.
right? And your rental is 10% in Bukit Jelutong. It's unheard of. We are the first party that has actually breached the 3,000 ringgit per month long-term unit rental. All because we did the right renovation and we put the right things whereby only that unit has that element. So for those who are attending our client webinar next week, right, you're going to hear what is the differentiating factor. Two things here, less than 5,000 ringgit. Can you imagine you spend less than 5,000 ringgit on things that you can use for the next 5 years and you get additional 1,200 ringgit additional every single month? Crazy, right? And not short-term rental, it's 1 year tenancy. Right? So again, the art of property buying is always going to be you buy the right property at the right price, first half of the story, but the more important second half is that what do you do with the property? Right? Similarly to remember the property that I said 500,000 cashback, right? You know, 500,000 cashback, 50% discount, and we bought nearby Pavilion, right? Which is why we don't look at everything else because we are buying nearby TRX and Pavilion, proper walking distance, proper Bukit Bintang, proper TRX, right? At below 1,000 feet. So it doesn't make sense for us to look at everything else relatively, right? And this month, you know, a dual key unit there, despite having a mortgage of just 4,000 net per month, is currently being tenanted at 10,000 dual key. So again, knowing what to do with the unit, deploying the right rental strategy can make a difference. You can buy the wrong property, but get the story right, you're going to be okay. But obviously, what is better? Buy right property, buy right price point, and then maximize the rental strategy. Right? So you know, just like I said, property investment is simple. Just because everyone is losing money, it doesn't mean you have to follow. If your unit is unique, you have a differentiating factor, you can do well. Despite everyone else losing money.
Next.
All right. Okay. How does Centro stack against RNF, especially in terms of entry price and location potential?
I think if you watch the Battle Royale, you will understand that Centro is part of tier 2, right? Area. RNF is part of tier S. So it's like you are asking me, how does Rolls-Royce compare to a Toyota Camry? It's an impossible comparison. You're not comparing the right things, right? One is walkable to RTS and the other one is a 3-kilometer distance despite the shuttle, right? So the thing about property is that you have to compare apples to apple and orange to orange, right? If you're asking me which one is better, durian or mangosteen, it's not even the same question. It doesn't make sense, right? So you gotta compare, right? What's the right property? So again, right? And after you compare the right property, you also have to understand price point. So if you ask me today, which one will make more money based on today's price point? That would be a better question. Which one will give most likely a positive cash flow? Most likely is going to be Centro, right? Which one will give better capital gain? Most likely is going to be RNF, right? Because there's only one RNF. Property like Centro can be replicated tomorrow by 10 different developers.
All right, next question. As someone new in this property investment, how do I avoid buying because of FOMO or hype? Everyone seems to say now is the best time to buy. How to cut through the noise and know it is the right time for me?
I think at the end of the day, it's just about looking at the data lah, and being factually, just look at things objectively lah. I mean, the job for us at Far Capital is just to look at things objectively, right? So this is going to be quite controversial, but we have always played the contrarian approach, and that approach has done very well for us, right? So no one dares to enter Bukit Jelutong, right? And we entered, and today we're getting, ridiculous amount of rental, right? No one wants to enter Johor 4 years ago. We entered first, and today we're making a killing. We bought things at 300 ringgit per square foot, 330 per square foot, 350 per square foot, below 400 per square foot. Right? So, and while everyone is telling us don't go buy Johor, we were there first. And today, a lot of developers that I speak to, that I advised to go to Johor a couple of years ago, all told me, shit, I regret never took your advice. Right? I thought you were nuts. Right? I appear to be nuts because I'm going against everything that people are feeling. What do they feel? My property losing money. Johor is bad. Border is closed. But is the border going to close forever? Is Singapore continuously going to be cheap forever? No. So this is just, if you are able to look at things objectively, there's no such thing as FOMO or hype. Right? Look at the discussion that we had tonight. It's almost 3 hours now. None of it is emotional. Every time we like something, we justify why. Every time we don't like something, we also have to justify why. So the key thing here is that whether you like something or you don't like something, you justify it. You have to play those scenarios in your brain. Right? So, I mean, if you join sessions like Battle Royale or Deal or Grill, then you get immediate shortcut lah, because we do all the homework for you, right? So that you can be objective. Right? So that's the key thing. It's always about using data, right? So, for example, what is the best city to go to for holiday as of today, guys? What's the best city to go to for today for holiday? Right? Bangkok.
I think they don't let you in, bro.
Huh?
Cannot go in, I think.
If they were to allow you to go in, how much is the flight ticket? How much is the hotel going to cost? Because no one wants to go there because they are all afraid of earthquake. All right. I saw Instagram story, right? He said, this is how I score 200 ringgit flight overseas. Right? And I stay in a 5-star hotel for $30 US. So When Bali kena bomb, the same week he actually booked a flight ticket. Because no one wants to go there. But your security is the highest. Right after the incident. Right? So you stay in 5-star hotel for $30 per night. Flight costs less than 300 ringgit.
Total
Overseas flight.
privacy.
So it's all about being contrarian. So today, which landed property is the best area to buy, guys? That has dropped by 10 to 20%.
Putra Heights.
Putra Heights. If you dream of buying landed property at a 10 to 20% discount sale today, Putra Heights is going to be the only area that you can potentially do that. Subject to bank wants to finance, because I also suspect some bank will say, you know what, we don't finance Putra Heights now. Right? So yeah. So it's all about using logic over emotion. If everyone is telling you to go to A, that's basically the last thing you want to do. Right? Tariff, for example. Everyone is screaming. I love it. Right? Because I think Malaysia going to do well. This tariff. The two biggest beneficiaries of Trump's tariff in Asia Pacific will be Singapore and Malaysia. Mark my words. If you are a client watching tonight, we're going to discuss this extensively during our next time webinar. I will tell you why. So again, right, it's not a emotion, simply say, I have to justify why, right? So what's the logic? Why does Trump do this? How does the country going to react? Right? How is this all going to play out? You'll see.
Okay. All right. So now we're moving to the next question. What is your view on the outlook for the Malaysian property market in the next 5 to 10 years? And how long do I realistically have to wait before a property becomes profitable? 10 years or 20 years?
The general theme here is that you wait for 10 years. That's the general. So that means you buy the peak, right? You know nothing, right? You don't attend Battle Royal, not a far cap client, don't attend deal or grill. So 10 years, safe. You know nothing, right? If you have some level of information, then realistically saying, even within 3 to 5 years, you can see a 50,000 to 100,000 gains, right? Sean is probably sitting what, 200,000, 300,000 capital gain on his Bukit Jalil property. That wasn't 10 years ago.
More than that. No, I earn more shorter than that.
There you go. So the key thing here is that what information do you have? At what price point do you buy? And do you buy during peak or crisis? The key is that, and when did you bought yours, Sean? You bought during MCO, right? Right? When no one wants to buy.
Yeah.
So you get the best possible price point. I recently bought a watch, right? Because I'm under the view that we're going to go through an era of high inflation and low interest rate. Right? And watch prices have come down by about 20 to 30%. Especially if you're talking about, the above 100K. Your AP or PPs, right? Or Vetron, right? And I got a price point for watch that I've been eyeing for 10 years. I only bought it last week. And I went to a dealer yesterday, and dealer asked me how much do I pay for it. I said, I paid 110,000. So are you fucking kidding me? Because even as a dealer, they cannot get the price. They have the same set, no box, no nothing, only the watch, and they're selling it for 140K. Right? So again, why am I making this move? Because again, today, not many buyers are looking to make 6-figure purchase. So that's your largest opportunity. Right? People takut. People are afraid. Oh, tariff is coming. A lot of jobs. Economy going to slow down. We're going to enter a recession. Some portion of that might be true. We are going to enter a slowdown, but it's not because of anything else other than the fact that fear and uncertainty. That's it. Fundamentally speaking, the world hasn't changed. right? But, right, the job is to, again, to answer you, right? If you buy something at the right price point today, you make money tomorrow. Right? So, there are some properties that we bought today, right? You're already seeing in 1 to 2 years, there's already 100,000 capital gain. Right? Some properties that I bought in Monkera, we bought for 700,000 dual key today. There are sub-sale going for about 1 million to 1.1. Again, less than 10 years. So, key is not when do you enter? How long do you expect? Key, buy right property, right price point, know what to do, then you wait. And if you, time it correctly, there's some properties that you can buy today, really you'll make 100,000 in 2 years. Because such underpriced. Look, people are hot looking to buy KLCC at 2,005 per square foot, guys. We bought proper Bukit Bintang, proper TRX 1,002, half price.
That was the direction I was going to go. So we can say how good we can do it, but normally what people do is even the price that they bought before COVID, I think forever cannot make money.
Correct.
Don't say how long. Forever cannot make money.
You buy at the right price, you literally make 6 figures within a year. Okay.
Okay, next question. I am a Singaporean. I want to ask, is Malaysia still a good place for property investment, especially with all the oversupply I'm seeing empty units and unfinished projects everywhere? How do I make sense of that?
The average capital gain in Malaysia in the last 30 years is better than Singapore. Right? The rental yield in Malaysia as of today is also better than Singapore. Right? Average yield countrywide is about 5%. Singapore, 3 to 4. Today, our borrowing cost is the same, guys. Last time, Singapore was half.
That's same already.
Yeah. I think Singapore mortgage is about 4%, right? Post-COVID. They haven't dropped. It used to be 2%. Right? But because they had pretty phenomenal economic policy, which continued to bring talent, that increases the demand for both HDB and private property. So they have property will run faster compared to Malaysia. Right? So objectively speaking, from a generic number point of view, Malaysia outperforms Singapore. But the reason why you don't see that happening is because you guys keep on buying the wrong property at the wrong price point. You pay KLCC price point for non-KLCC property. You always kena scam one. Right? Why would anyone pay 700, 800 ringgit per square foot for Madini 10 years ago? Majority of them is Singaporean. Ma? Why? Because you believe it's going to be Shenzhen. Right? I'm not saying it won't be Shenzhen. I'm saying it won't be Shenzhen in 10 years. It will be like Shenzhen maybe in 25 or 30 years. You entered too early. Right? So, Madini, for example, is a wonderful example of whereby majority of the purchasers are non-Malaysian and largely Singaporean. 99% of the people buy Madini all lose money in the last 15 years. Right? Majority paid above 600 ringgit per square foot. Average price per Madini today, 550 transaction. The 1% that make money, us. Because how much do we pay? 350, 360, 380 per square foot. Same area, same property, just half price. Right? So, Malaysia property is great if you buy the right property lah. And Malaysia property sucks if you buy the wrong property. And unfortunately, as a Singaporean, the general guide here is that any developer, agent, market property nearby CIQ or in Singapore itself, just don't buy it lah. It's as simple as that. It's just telling people don't buy it, right? Why don't buy it is because if they can sell to Malaysia, local Malaysian, and local Malaysian want to buy, they don't need to go and market to Singapore. Only leftovers, overpriced property are being marketed in Singapore. So when you buy those property, the outcome is extremely predictable.
And also just to add on just now, because he said that oversupply, incomplete projects a lot, right? So just that one, if you really to calculate, right, all those unfurnished one, incomplete one is generally government housing, unfortunately. A very big chunk of it is all government housing. That's why even if the new minister resolves a lot of abandoned projects, right, it's all their own project. So nothing much to shout about. Then for the oversupply part, right, because it's easier to narrate oversupply than property making money. If oversupply is a thing, technically now everybody can afford property. Just that it's oversupply in certain locations, and in that certain location, nobody want to buy in the first place. So, yeah.
And objectively speaking, the number of property abandoned has really dropped down drastically compared to 20 years ago. But you feel it's a lot because compared to Singapore with no abandoned property, everything looks a lot. So that's one thing to consider. So if you are like me, whereby you operate in 3 countries, right? Because I'm in Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. The number of property being abandoned in Indonesia is 10 times more compared to Malaysia. And Sean made a very good point. And there's a comment too, right? There's a comment that says, if Singaporean got property SG cannot buy own stay property or a property in Malaysia, which also makes it very difficult for people to go and claim they make money in Malaysia, because they were basically telling that I bought something in Malaysia. Because is there a lot of Singaporean buy property in Malaysia and so own property in Singapore? A lot. Easily 6 figures. They don't tell you only. Right?
All right. Moving on to the next question. I have bought for my own stay and investment before. What is the right strategy for the third unit? Do I go for cash flow or cashback? And can you share some deal list that is friendly for investor like me?
Why are you asking me about the right strategy? You first have to be very clear your goal. So when you become a client at FACAP, first thing we ask you is that, what is your goal? What's your objective? You want to go for cashback, cash flow, capital gain. For those 3 will lead you to a completely different proposition, see? So there's cashback property for cashback purposes. There's property for cash flow purposes. They are property going to be for capital gain purposes. Right? So once we ask you that, and you answer, I'm going to go for cash flow. I'm going to give you, this is a top 5 cash flow property. This one can give you 1,500, this is 1,000, this is 500. So that's the process, right? You be very clear with your goal, then the property recommendation comes in. Right? So in terms of property friendly for 70% LTV, I think we have about 6 as of today. We've got one in KLCC at 40% discount, 1,500 ringgit per square foot, cheapest in KLCC proper. Right? No graveyard too.
That's going to be the theme moving forward.
For tonight lah. It's just astounding, right? So we've got one that was launched for 40% discount. We've got a non-HD property that was launched at almost 40% discount also, right? There are basically quite a few, right? So there's easily 6 as of today property. Cheapest property we are buying that is 70% LTV friendly is 260,000 ringgit. And it's not just friendly, you can buy 0 down, you can get almost 60,000 cashback. That's 260,000 ringgit property. After discount. Look, if you are 70% LTV, it's straightforward. Just buy things with 40% discount. Right? So 30% discount, covers your down payment, right? And the 10% is enough cashback to cover your renovation.
Okay, all right. So next question. Would there be any earthquake scare affect the high rise?
So far, there's not a problem in Malaysia, right? So Malaysia, Singapore, both are quite blessed. We are located in a geographical location which we are not part of the belt of whereby we could potentially get an earthquake, right? So if that happens, then the sentiment towards high rise will go down, right? But let's be honest lah. Malaysia, the story is very straightforward, guys. There's no such thing as high rise and landed same price point one, no. People only stay in high rise because you are too poor to own a landed nearby.
Yep.
Let's be honest, right? So earthquake, no earthquake, you can afford the landed man. Right? So this is not like Mont Kiara, whereby you got landed property, 3 million ringgit, also got high-rise property, also 3 million ringgit. Most of the other area, not Mont Kiara. Like Bangsar lah, landed is 2 million. Apartment 800,000. So people don't choose high-rise because sentiment-wise, high-rise is great. Right? It's safer. No. People choose high-rise in any area because they can't afford the landed nearby. Itu saja. Right? So if you ask me, got earthquake one day dekat Malaysia, will it affect high rise? Yes, for a while. Then people look at their loan eligibility, look at their salary, still realize
I'm still
they
poor.
cannot afford. So you go back stay in apartments lah, like me and Sean. Right? So straightforward lah. The only reason why I'm not staying in a landed property in Mont Kiara because the landed that I like is 7 million.
Aiyo.
Right? I might be able to go and afford it today. I still won't pay for it. Right? So Sean, I don't know lah. His dream landed property is how much, but you know, and obviously for now, based on my current circumstances, right? As a living bachelor, I don't need a 7-bedroom mansion lah in Mont Kiara. I'm happy with a 2-bedroom condo.
7 bedroom.
4 years from now, my circumstances will change. But like I said lah, the reality here is that, yeah, sentiment-wise, if you want to stay in KLCC, can afford meh? Landed property in KLCC tak boleh lah. Everything is about 15 to 20 million lah. Right? So you go damn lah, go buy 1 million ringgit apartment. Right? And earthquake, just like the fire in Putra Heights, right, will all be forgotten in 6 months.
The weirdest thing is this. Once the fire happened, earthquake forgotten already.
Yeah. The people paying 2005 today booking property in KLCC suddenly forgot about the Masjid Jami apa tu? Lubang tu.
Sinkhole.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Sinkhole,
Oh my
sinkhole,
God.
sinkhole.
Look at all the launches in KLCC today. City Centre, all 80-90% fully sold. Suddenly people forget. So, you know, don't worry about short term. Focus on what matters in medium to long term. Because short term is always going to be flavor of the month. Okay.
All right, next question. We have a good idea what influence residential rental rates, but what factors influence the office rental rates or demand?
Location is key lah. Being nearby everything like shops, restaurant, eateries is very important. All right. So for commercial office, proximity to public transportation and accessibility to supermarket, eateries and whatnot, and sufficient car park, very important.
All right. Next question. With global recession impending, should we keep cash like Warren Buffett and wait for the bloodshed this year before we buy anything? Since 7 criteria was based on Warren Buffett philosophy.
He's keeping cash to go and buy, and his opportunity is not something you can buy. So by the time you deploy your cash, he's already 20% up, bro. So we're not Warren Buffett. So let's be very, very clear, right? I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I personally think that we're gonna enter an era of high inflation, low interest rates. So that means asset value will go up. So once this whole tariff war worry, right, is over, maximum 6 months, 4 to 6 months, all of this worry today when it comes to tariff most likely will be gone, right? You go full swing on global trade. Some countries might go to recession. All right. Malaysia, unlikely. Singapore, unlikely. Right. So my view here is that go buy things which is undervalued. Right. Go buy things which is undervalued. Personally, I'm going into watches. Right. I'm going into watches because the price has dropped by about 20, 30, 50% in some brands compared to the peak of 2021. So that's what I'm doing. Right.
Too bad you
Yeah,
cannot wear precious metal. Too bad you cannot wear precious metal.
I can buy and keep, you see. I have been buying.
Oh, okay.
I'm not wearing it, I'm keeping it because it's undervalued, and precious metal get hammered far more than steel watches.
Yes.
Right? So I have been buying actually. But I'm keeping it lah. Just everyday look, cannot wear, kesian.
All right. Okay. Next question. How can a property agent work together with FAR? While there are many projects available to be sold, I find many are just overpriced and honestly doesn't deliver as what is being marketed. I had to filter quite a lot and left with less than 5 that I find to be pretty good.
Reach out to us. We've got a pretty open ecosystem as far as starting from 2025. Right? And the goal is to become the largest buyer, right, from an ecosystem point of view, because if you are the largest buyer, you get a completely different set of price point from the developer. So as a result, everyone buys cheaper, buy safer, buy cheaper. So anything overpriced, they don't enter, right? So the reason why we can't do more deals than what we should is simply because we want to buy 1,000 per square foot. Let's say, for example, in one of the property in Jalan Ampang. But when people still buying at 1,002, no reason for the developer to engage us to go and sell 1,000 per square foot. Right? And for us, it's okay, it's fine. If the market cannot see what we see, let them overpay. And there are going to be opportunities available to us, and there are going to be opportunities that we're not going to be able to go and do. Right? But you can reach out to us. Yeah.
All right. So I think that's all the question for tonight.
Okay. Wow.
One long one today.
1 hour, 15 minutes. All because of KLCC property. That alone takes almost 1 hour.
We got 1 hour, 15 minutes.
3 hours.
No, one KLCC property almost took
Oh.
review.
Oh.
Just one. It's too much. It's unconventional. But I think, like I said, I think at the end of the day, it's all about learning, right? And you guys wanted to know the full information. And I just things that you cannot simply shortcut to give everyone the full understanding. And the last thing we want is for people to label us as favoring or hating certain projects. That was never the case. We are quite objective, right? So thank you so much, especially panelists Zakri, Albee for the hard work, William and Sean for giving their 2 cents, providing a lot of value to you guys, right? And with that, hopefully we can see you guys in 2 weeks' time in the next DOG. With that, Assalamualaikum. Good evening. Have a great week ahead. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.